Previously on Inspired Initiative, the Mollyhue finally arrives in the gleaming city of glass, Valtari. Exhausted from their harrowing desert journey, their long quest ends at the Spire of Illumination, where they deliver the mysterious crate to Damaris Vane, an elven scholar of great renown. Inside, a single sapling, a surviving remnant of the great tree of Mithrandel, thought is extinct. Though questions stir, fatigue overtakes curiosity. After bidding farewell to their towering companion, Cordoran, the group finds respite in the lush oasis, washing off the sands of their travels. There, they reunite with Brisa, Maldorwen's sister and Malvis enthusiast, who invites them to an upcoming match. Over a veggie-heavy dinner, the group begins to settle into city life. That night, Euan dreams of the sapling, overwhelmed by powerful memories he can't yet comprehend. Come morning, the party seeks a more permanent home within the city and visits the desert chapter of the Dawnward Sentinels. New allies? New dangers? One thing's certain, Valtari holds many opportunities ahead. Tune in tonight on Inspired Initiative. As you all step off the airway, this tube of glass that snakes its way throughout the entire grand metropolis of Valtari, the breeze kind of still rustling a little bit of your hair, you step into the grand kind of desert chapter, much different than the tide chapter that you're used to in Elendor. This place is not merely a singular building that's vacant. There is a bustling atmosphere that is happening here. Currently, two what appears to be groups of Sentinels were just sparring, and as you approach, they call it off for a moment to greet you on your way. One of the larger figures, an orcish figure with just hulking muscles, an elegant plate mail inscribed with all manner of glyphs that resemble light and Alamor, kind of smiles broadly, his two large, nearly tusks almost poking into his face as he calls out to Rhukkarrak.
Rhukkarrak, it's been a while. How have you been, lad?
As he walks up to greet you all, followed by two other individuals.
Gorak, it's very nice to see you again. This is my new friends that I met down south.
Is that so? Welcome in, everyone. Are you all Sentinels then?
Yes. They've all joined. Here, let me introduce. We have this lovely lady here is Asja. Very friendly.
Hi.
He does like a makeshift
Then we have
bow.
The hobbling one with the scar here is Euan.
It's a pleasure.
Nearly my height.
And
He kind of goes to grasp your hand, a big old meaty hand greeting yours.
Euan imagine kind and grasp his hand with a slight smile.
Firm handshake occurs.
And the Carthusi gnome over there is Maldorwen.
Ah,
Yes.
we don't see much of your kind here. Pleasure.
Pleasure as well. Size isn't everything. What matters is the size of your courage.
He kind of smiles widely.
That is very true.
Still holding a large, great sword in just one hand. Sheaths it.
I am Rhukkarrak, leader of the Sunblaze.
Kind of motions back to the other two individuals following him. You see a feminine orc, not as tall as Rhukkarrak and not as muscular, but still very athletic, holding a bow currently. And then another elven figure to her side. The orc kind of calls out to Rhukkarrak.
You're still as pale as the day you left us. I thought the heat of the Emberville would have at least crisped you up some.
No, I have never tanned like others.
He's never gonna get color because he's always hiding behind a quake shell.
They all kind of chuckle at that.
Euan also tries, but fails to stifle a chuckle at that.
That
the
is not
elf-
how that went.
I don't know if he's really hiding behind them or trying to make friends with their claws. I'm not sure which one. And Asja kind of smiles. Sorry. I'd be quiet now and sit down over here.
Yes, well, Vakra, it's very nice to see you again.
She kind of gives a nod. The elf kind of pipes up.
And Hemir.
It's not always bad to stay to the shadows.
Just kind of gives you a nod and comes and like goes to reach out and then hesitates for a moment, remembering. Just gives you a nice smile.
So, did you all just arrive in the city? Or have you been hiding out in the
Yesterday.
streets of Valtari? Yesterday?
Yeah.
No, we arrived yesterday.
And just kind of looks out towards the Great Sansi.
And where from? Like, it's been Ambervale for a couple months now. You trekked through that?
Elendor. Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
I would not recommend it.
Vakra, the female orc, kind of chipes up.
If that would explain your disposition, kind of cracked the skin and whatnot. Well, I'm sure I've seen better days. We're glad to have you regardless.
Nothing
so what
some
are you-
time and a few hot baths can't fix up.
True. What have you been up to?
At this point, Rhukkarrak just kind of stretches a little bit, starting to do just a little bit of stretching while he talks to you.
Oh, you know, the usual. Just hunting here and there and whatever the captains need from us. We've primarily stayed close to Valtari this little past year. Couple treks into the Sandsea, but nothing too distant like we were up in Fenborough. That was quite the journey.
Anything interesting out there?
I mean, the occasional wyvern that... Those things are nasty. Desert crawlers. Nothing too crazy.
Oh, desert crawlers. We know them, right, Ruka? And she makes kind of a claw. Ting, 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 ting. We also know the
Yes?
wyverns. And she rubs her chest. Their tails really hurt badly. Thankfully, my dad was able to cut it off, and she's kind of pointing at Euan.
Euan kind of flexes a little bit. I did
One
end up as
blow,
a Jude
funk.
though.
Well, yeah, but first you protected me, and then I protected you. That's how
I mean,
it
it was
works,
pretty
right?
fun to ride the thing.
It's true.
Hamir, the elven figure, kind of pipes up.
Wait, you rode the wyvern, Ruka?
Not for very long. But,
Kind of puts a palm to his head and kind of shakes it a bit.
What a crazy lad.
He actually stayed on quite masterfully until the thing rolled around and tried to knock him off. But he sure fought for it.
yeah.
Always.
Well, we were...
Got
the
yourself
only reason we
into
were able to
too
take
much.
this down is because we were all working together, so...
I'm glad to hear that. Appears you do work well together. It's good to have allies at your back that support your weaknesses.
I would say that Rhukkarrak's strategies in the battlefield are very strange. Was it you who taught him?
No! I tried to convince him otherwise on a lot of occasions. I also see that you haven't really built a whole lot of muscle there, Ruka. You're not doing the training that I was trying to teach you?
I've done a little bit, but I don't grow muscle like, well, my other brothers and sisters.
Hamir kind of
I've always been a bit
slaps
scrawny.
Gorak.
Yet again, he likes to keep to the ground and quickly. You can't run around as fast as he can.
Gorak.
I guess that's true.
Well, a quick question. Last time I stayed with you guys, and I didn't have to worry too much about the policies or stuff like that. What are the requirements for staying here in the Sentinel district?
Oh, well, you all are Sentinels, I presume. You have your squad, yes?
Yes, we are the Motley Hue.
She kind of curiously kind of is intrigued by the name.
It fits. I mean, there should be extra room in the barracks. You should probably be able to garner your own place.
Are we what are the requirements as far as completing missions while we stay here?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. I mean, we kinda just do what we want and help out where we are needed.
Okay, because we have some plans while we're in the city. We don't know how much we'll be able to actually help the Sentinels during the harsh, but we'll see.
Alright, well, I don't think anything is required, at least unless there's a vital, life-threatening event that occurs. A group of wyverns flying to the city, but we have quite a bit of individuals that are also trained here. And you all were.
Different than the last place we were at.
Elendor, we were pretty much it. The rest are all somewhere. Not really sure where.
It's been a while since I've been to Elendor's, but yes, it's quite small, if I can remember correctly.
Well, they were having some problems, I guess, outside of the city, but yeah, we were it for a few weeks.
Really? Man, we should send some of...
He kind of talks to the other two behind him too.
We should send some of these other lower squads out. They could use a bit less foreshadowing from some of, well, us.
Yes, for some reason the Sentinels in Elendor were interested in traveling southwest to the Rift area. I think it's not probably the best idea, and if they hadn't returned then, by now it will be too late. Embervale, Stormwake. I don't think they had enough supplies.
They went to the Riftlands. Ah, that's... that would...
Ruka will just...
He just kind of stunned. What are you doing, Ruka?
Ruka's just gonna kind of give him a look like, I don't think we were supposed to say that. Question, is Cyriel still around?
I believe so, here and there. You know, she likes to keep to herself quite a bit. She was a part of our squad. I can't quite remember which one. I think I saw her a day or two ago, though. So she's somewhere here.
Oh, yeah, I'm not really looking for her. I'm just curious if she's still in town. Anyway,
This time Asja's gonna raise an eye. Oh, avoiding a girl. Is there a story behind this one?
yes, a shadowy story.
Oh.
Yeah,
She always did kind of give me the creeps. Arcadery seemed to be ghostly. I don't know. Anyways, let me show you guys around. You're all... Have any of you been to Valtari other than Rhukkarrak?
I have
No.
not.
I haven't left my city in 80 years, so first time for everything.
Welcome. We're glad to have you. Yeah.
He kind of waves a motion over to the other group that were sparring with them. Just kind of does a little hand motions
We're done for the day.
as they kind of almost shrug a little bit like, okay, whatever. And then they take off as well.
We were about finished there anyways. They were about to get their asses handed to them, huh?
Kind of chipes back to the other two that kind of chuckle alongside.
All
of
right,
course,
well,
there would be nothing else.
exactly. Well, let's go.
And starts to trudge through the kind of sandy, large arena here, more or less, that they were sparring in, towards other large buildings that are kind of make up the desert chapter here. The architecture is still similar to the grander Valtari. You can see most buildings are primarily made from sandstone and ember glass, but it does have a little bit more of a distinct environment. It almost makes you feel like it's secluded somewhat of Valtari, like a town within a city. And you can still see the spires very pretty closely of the Spire district. But it definitely almost feels like they've tried to make a place away from the city itself as well.
So you all hankering for a drink?
I mean, after we tour the place, I could go for a drink.
Yeah, we're coming from, this is the Crucible Grounds. All manner of training implements.
Kind of points over to a large, what appears to be obstacle course of that you can see a couple of sentinels or individuals that are currently like jumping over large obstacles and dodging different things. At one point you see like flames shoot out at them as they quickly, nimbly avoid them.
Really allows you to hone your skills as to not be caught out unprepared out in the wilds. There's also all manner of sparring that occurs here as well. I mean, pretty much any squad will be pleased to spar. At least, most of them. Some of them are weird. But it's always good to make sure, especially in the Harsh here, where work is a little bit few and far between with how well harsh it is, that we keep our wits about us and not grow slack in our skills.
Kind of continues on.
Right over there, that's where we'll end. It's the Blazing Sun Tavern. Primarily where most of us take a bit of relaxation and have some liquor or other fine drink, and the chef knows what they're doing, that's for sure. There's all manner of different Vizork that we bring in, or also gather stuff from the Oasis as well. It's really one of the better spots in the city to eat, in my opinion.
Vakra kind of chipes up.
Yeah, but you will eat anything. It's good, but I know better places as well.
Well, it is one of the best places that you can get for free.
That's true, as long as you're a sentinel and you show that pendant. Most anything is free. Sometimes the chef spices them with more exclusive, crazy stuff from far-off lands that he requests donations for, but it's great food that is free. Lots of meats. They don't do a lot of meat anywhere else in the city, really.
No, they don't, and that's why this place has a good reputation so far with me. I think you and I are going to get along. I eat everything, too. And
you
everything.
don't look like it.
Oh, no,
She does.
I do. I usually have 2 plates. Because
Oh.
I can
that's...
assure you, she about out-eats me on a regular basis.
We might have to have a eating competition later.
Oh god, you said the magic words.
Eating competition? Okay. She just
Imagine Asja's
smiles.
belly just rumbles.
Yep, pretty much. Her stomach growls. My belly is getting ready for it. I hope yours is too.
Past the tavern there's all manner of, those are the barracks, what we call them. They're not really barracks.
And you see all manner of different housing units, of all manner of different sizes and shapes. Some look a little nicer than others.
There's some nice ones that are for more of the higher-ranking squads, and some of the lower ones that are still nice, but I'll encourage you to rank up, if you will. But I'm sure that we'll be able to find a spot for you over there. I can talk to one of the captains, and we could probably get that done. Over here,
It kind of points now towards a large, kind of the center of the place. There's a large kind of building that is definitely the most grandiose building within this little community here.
that's the Dawn Spire Hall. It's basically where the operations for the entire place run. The chapter master works out of there. Every once in a while, the Dawn leader comes in, but usually she's busy with other places as well. Yet, a bunch of different assignments can be acquired there as well. Different meetings and stuff like that.
And then continues to walk. As you all... Like, this place isn't... It's not small, but it's not also super large either. But it's fairly... fair size.
Over here, we have the Hunter's Lodge, where they primarily deal with, well, hunting. The captain of the hunt, deals with pretty much that entire place over there. Sends out squads like yourself or others to go and make sure the perimeter around Valtari is secure. And no, Zorks think it's a bright idea to come and harbor during the harsh here, as we do not want stray wyverns nesting in the spires. That would be, kind of funny, actually. But no, it'd be bad. It'd be bad.
As he continues to walk.
Over there, in the corner there,
Is, and you see another kind of smattering of buildings. Not as homely looking as the other, like the barracks, but this whole place is kind of buzzing. You see many people here. Yet again, mostly elves, but you do see more like orcs and a couple Goliaths there. You even see maybe a gnome from a distance, far off.
that's the Sunbound Archives. Kind of a personal little project of, Finian is the chapter of the lost. Or the chapter. My words worked out too hard today. The captain of the lost deals with all kind of mysteries and secrets and whatnot.
Archives?
Kind of just gives a nod.
You
Are you
said the magic
flirting
words
with
again.
me? My
Just
god,
kind of-
first food, then archives? Ugh. She fans herself and kind of coyly smiles. Like, obviously, it's she's joking with, oh, you do know how to get a girl all hot under the bother. Whew. Whew.
should say you're a scholar type.
I'm from Mithril.
Oh, interesting. Well, yeah.
I grew up in the archives there, so yes, I really like archives. They remind me of home.
I'm sure that they're not the largest. I'm sure the grander city has better archives. They're a little more inclined towards, like, Zork hunting and different stuff like that. And mysteries that we can go search out. But I'm sure
Mysteries are good.
you'd love to speak with Finian then. Moving on, we have this over here, the First Light Apothecary. If you get any scrapes or bruises,
Kind of looks over you all again.
honestly, you all could probably use a visit right now. I'll leave that up to you how you're feeling. But they take care of us, especially on big tournament days or whatnot, when some of us take a wound or two that wasn't quite intentional. They make sure that we get healed right up. They also have all manner of alchemy and potions and whatnot. And finally, over in that direction,
Kind of points off to the... almost kind of where you came in, but towards the, like, southeastern portion of the little place here.
that's the Emberites over there. Bunch of... basically, you need any sort of armament, whether that be weapon or...
Kind of pats his large plate mail.
armor. They will be able to help you. Not everything is just for grabs there, but if you need basic implements, I'm sure that they have plenty. But they also have little more advanced mechanisms of enchanting to improve armors and whatnot. Make it so that when we're out doing the dangerous stuff, we're a little bit better protected.
Do they enchant weapons as well?
Oh, of course, yes. It's the...
Kind of points to another building kind of beside the large, what you can see is a forge. It's hard to make out details from the distance that you are currently, but it's obvious enough that it's a forge.
I believe that's the... Arcane Hammer? Something like that. I'm not great with names. But yeah, the person in charge there, she's great at imbuing that elemental magics and whatnot into both weapons and armor.
Good to know, thank you.
Just kind of gives it on.
Well, that's more or less everything. I mean, there's little bits here, little bits there, but that's basically everything you need to know, at least.
Yes, it's all rather convenient having it all nearby. Shall we get those drinks? Have the Ember Cloaks giving you any troubles?
No. Yeah, they're the Ember Cloaks. Yeah.
He just kind of chuckles and mumbles a little bit under his breath.
Yes, I do. Let's go grab a drink. I worked up a sweat there, and heat of Embervale does not bode well for the mouth. Thirsty.
Just so you guys know, the Ember Cloaks are good people, but they can sometimes be a little bit about themselves. So it's fun to tease them a bit.
I see. Well, as much as I would love to stay and have some drinks with you, I do have other things to attend. So, if you will excuse me, I will see you later, guys. Let me know where you are going to stay, but I think we could meet here if you need anything. You know where to find me.
Yes, Oh, right, I was going to go with Asja to... Asja, I'll have to take a rain check on that. I'm going to catch up with my friends here.
Oh, no, that's okay. I really wanted to go to the the medical. I'm going to go. I hurt a lot from the walk. Hoping maybe they could help me out a little bit, so that, and I when you're ready to go to the library, I've got to go there anyway. So I just have a question though. A lot of the books you're going to be looking at are probably written in Elven. I know you don't speak it, but do you read it?
Oh, I forgot about that. Darn it. Well, I guess I'm going to be spending the next. Well, we're going to be here for about a month, maybe more.
Usually,
I guess I'm going to be spending the time trying to learn Elven.
The archive here are written in common, at least translated.
And if you're looking for mysteries of lost things, you probably have better chance of finding mysteries of. Asja kind of stops. Hey, wait. Lost things. Huh. Do you ever sometimes feel like there are just too many coincidences in the world? I think I will need to talk to your. What was it? Captain of the Lost Things?
Oh yeah, Finian. Kind of a odd
Finian.
duck he is, but yeah, all kinds of loves the mysteries and the lost things of the world, histories, and yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's just
Well.
another person. Now I'm going to add to my. How about this, Ruka? Why don't I walk you over to Finian's? You can see if they have what you're looking for. I get to meet this person as well. Then I can walk over to the medical thing. And then after that, you can go for a drink with your friend, and I can go do the other thing I have to do over back at the with Damaris. I would really like to speak to Damaris as well again if I can.
does that work for you, Gorak?
Yeah,
And then
sure.
definitely, Gorak, we will sit down and have an eating competition. But even though I am hungry right now, maybe I should be a little bit more healthy before I try and beat you, because I'm still very tired from walking across the desert. It was not easy.
I would also love to spar, and I think we could have a Sunblaze versus Motley Hue sparring contest. That would be great. But
You hear that,
maybe another
lads?
day.
They want to spar with us. You guys should sign up for the tournament that's coming up then. I think it's a day or two. What is it again, Vakra?
It's the. I think it's the 16th. So today's the 14th. 2 days from now.
Isn't that the same day as the game?
The Malvis, it's when we are supposed to go watch Brisa play.
Wait, you guys know Brisa?
yeah, she's
That's
my
his sister.
No way, man. That's crazy. I always
What is crazy?
your sister's with like one of the best Malvis players in the city here.
Yeah, so I think I'm not gonna be able to spar in the tournament, but I'm still interested in fighting you.
The next Malvis
yes,
game
that
is
day.
tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
Oh.
Oh, I lost track of the days.
All right, 2 days from yesterday, we had to sleep. Wow.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
Asja
then,
gets a dreamy look on her face. That's sleep. I've never found the soft bed so comfortable, but... Oh, that one was perfect.
Well, then
Well,
I don't know if everyone is okay with fighting. I would love to fight.
It's been a while since I've been in a tournament. I would enjoy it.
I know that there were rumors that, at least, the winners would get a better spot in the barracks as well.
I could use a scrap. blow off some of this steam.
Yes, you and I have also something unfinished for this. But yes, that can be later on as well.
I'm sure that the chapter master will also want to speak with you all if you're Sentinels coming from Elendor as well. We don't get a lot of information from Elendor, so I'm sure that they'd love to hear from you as well when you have a moment.
We also signed up for the tournament with the chapter master?
Yeah, you can just do that at the
Points at the big building.
the Dawnspire Hall.
Okay.
All right, I need my drink. I'm going. If you guys
Yes,
join
okay.
later on, we'll see you then. If not, have a good rest of your time here, and I'm sure we'll see you around. I'll
You
come over with
better
you.
get ready, because you are going to see us very closely.
I look forward to it.
What
Interesting,
an odd
friends.
fellow.
Right.
Yes, when I met them up north when I was visiting a city up there with a caravan, a trading caravan. And they're actually one of the reasons why I joined the Downward Sentinels in the first place, so... It was
Interesting.
a lot of fun to spend time here with them.
Anyways,
They seem to have been a good influence on you.
why don't we just go get the whole checking in thing done, sign up for the tournament, and then when we leave the building, we can all determine what we're doing, and then we can go do it. And then when we are all done, we can come back together and, I guess, go for some food.
Sounds fine.
good to me.
Right, let's go check in then. That building. That one's
Yes.
really nice.
The Dawnspire.
Interesting.
All right. As you guys trek over to the Dawnspire, you were able to. You didn't fully walk through the entire desert chapter here. But kind of were just in the middle, as Gorak was pointing out most of everything that you needed to see. So, quick jaunt over to the Dawnspire yet again. This place is quite bustling. There's all manner of pretty well armored individuals. You see all manner, and the armor is almost uniquely different on each person. You see one person with kind of chitinous, kind of carapace armor that you could imagine maybe could have came from a desert crawler. Another person with like scales that kind of go across their armor, probably wyvern of nature, but all definitely not similar to like the spire guards that you've seen here and there that kind of have a very uniform, like ember glass armor that is very gleaming and beautiful, but maybe not as functional as some of these other individuals here. So as you kind of walk towards the large, kind of towering, it definitely towers over every other building here. It's the biggest building in the vicinity. You make your way towards it and open the kind of chapter doors. This resembles the most of what you saw in the Thai chapter at Valtari. Like, this building is not identical by any means, but it's similar in nature. Like, there's a large hallway that kind of encompasses the entryway here. Large arches with immaculate kind of carvings in them, different banners of different symbols on them that you can only ascertain would probably be different sentinel squads that kind of operate throughout the desert chapter here. As you kind of walk in, there also is different like, trophies of different creatures that kind of align the walls and whatnot here. And there is a couple different people in here as well. There's one that looks to be reading over some pages at like a big board of just all manner of parchments, like pinning some stuff to the actual board there. As you all walk in. Shortly after you do so, you're met by another individual here who kind of walks out towards you. They're in quite a heavy half plate, so a big, like, bulky, rocky looking plate of armor that kind of compasses their chest. Long black hair kind of falls to one side of their head. Elven figure. Very pointy kind of jawline. This individual kind of looks busy, looking around and talking to some other individuals before noticing you and seeing you come in, and gives you a odd eye of like, I don't recognize these people, before walking up towards you.
Yeah,
Hello.
Luca had made sure that he had his badge affixed while they were walking up.
Hello. We were told to come and check in. We arrived yesterday from Elendor. We are from the No, I'm sorry. I'm still very tired from the desert. We are from the Elendor chapter house.
I see. That's why I didn't recognize your faces. Welcome in. I am the chapter master here, Larongar. It's a pleasure to meet you all. You from Elendor, I got the word, Motley Crew, right? Is that the name?
No.
Hugh. Motley
Close.
Hugh.
Motley Hugh. My bad. Been a couple weeks since I received the letter from the Tide chapter there. Well, pleasure to have you. You all will be needing living arrangements, yes?
Yes.
What? Rhukkarrak says yes, but I don't mean to sound snobby, but I'd like to see the arrangements first,
Very well.
if possible, before agreeing.
Absolutely. Now, from my understanding, you all haven't been Sentinels for a long period of time, other than Rhukkarrak. I recognize your face. You've been here before, yeah?
Yes, I was here last Harsh season.
Okay, well, welcome back. Glad to have you all here. Here, let's go walk. I could use a little jaunt and get out of the office here for a moment anyways. As they kind of lead you through the doorway there and out into the bright Almor sun that is shining down from the skies above. As you walk towards the barracks that Gorak pointed out beforehand. So is there anything in particular that you're wanting? Kind of questioning back towards Asja there. We have all manner of accommodations. Some are a little nicer for more of the elite hunters and squads, as they get the right to the nicer establishments, being well higher ranked.
I would just like somewhere that is I do not need something palatial, but I would like my own space. As much as I really do appreciate my friends, I have shared a room with them now for quite some time. And, well, sometimes a girl wants to let her hair down. Do you understand?
Absolutely, yes. The accommodations here are going to be much better than what you're going to find
You could put me in a tiny little cupboard. I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with doing extra cleaning to get that tiny little cupboard. I really don't care, but also some of my research is a bit more sensitive. So everyone
Alright.
having access to it might not be a good idea.
Understandable. Yeah, there are multiple rooms in each of these housing units. And so, is it just the four of you on the Motley Hue?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, we should be able to find something great. As you're about walking towards the living space there. And you see there's a large kind of courtyard that makes out the center of these barracks here, and all manner of, yet again, kind of different housing units. Some have the similar banners that kind of wave, signifying which squad is kind of operates in that place. But these are like, they're not mansions. Some of them are a little larger than others, but they look like a pretty decently sized little like domicile that you'd be able to pull up in. He kind of points out some. These here, we have 2 currently that aren't being used. They are the lower tier brackets, but they would serve you well, I think, here in the city. I'm sure. Let me see. I would have to double check my paperwork that I was sent from Dagon there, over in the Tide chapter. I believe he gave you guys a ranking. I don't remember what that was, though. You aren't wearing your sashes either, which we can get you some of those. And as he says that, you do recall now, as you've seen on almost every single Sentinel here, they usually always have a pendant somewhere on their body, as well as different colored, like, sashes, either that being a scarf that they wear, or a little, like, bandana, or a little, like, arm bracer, just a little bit of cloth that is colored in different ways. You recall that the Sunblades, Gorak and their group, were wearing vibrant kind of orangish colors with those little colors. Yeah, I'll have to check to see exactly what ranking you all are. Being new here, you might just be the initiate if Dagon didn't disclose, but I can see that you all have at least some skill to you, so probably a little bit higher than initiates.
Well, on our second day in Elendor, we saved the city from some tide fins that were in the canals. We went Leviathan hunting and helped the Leviathan hunters. I'm not sure how much you know about the whole events that just happened in Elendor, but we were very helpful in quelling that as well. I don't know if all of that was in the report, but validity is, or transparency, I apologize, is probably a good idea.
Oh, very nice. I'm glad to hear that you were of great help to the chapter there in Elendor. I do remember that Dagon spoke of you quite fondly, or at least his letter did.
Oh, that's very kind of him.
So, yeah, either of these 2 places here would kind of pick your choice. And yet again, both of them are smaller, but comparison to the living district that you were at earlier this morning, these are much nicer. Like, the living district were like small, maybe New York apartments, if you would, where everyone shared like a communal kitchen from a large building of several different small little apartments, more or less. Here, it's like a full-on small house that you guys could get for yourself. Probably with 3-4 separate rooms, little living space.
I'm just gonna look at the house and then look back at the... That's small? Where I'm from, that would be considered one of the biggest houses there was.
Oh, well, it kind of points over to some of the other larger ones that aren't mansions, but they're close. Like, they're...
Those are intimidating. I don't want to think about living or having to even clean one of those. No, thank you.
Well, yeah, we have these for now, and there is, I believe, one of the prizes that we've allotted for the tournament coming up is kind of a rank up with the housing here. So if you manage to best some of the higher ranked squads, then you could probably kick them out of their place, and they'll have to live here.
Well, if we're going to join the tournament, and she kind of slyly kind of turns a little bit and smiles. I think we could do well for a new house, don't you?
I'm in.
Maybe it would have a little bit of front porch for you, Dad. We could put a nice chair out front and you could smoke your pipe at night time.
Euan gets a wistful look in his eyes, akin to a longing of a very deep kind. That would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And I can make sure that we always have a little rice bag and I can heat it up for you. Sorry. She looks back at the chapter master as she says sorry.
No, I'm glad that you guys are considering. It's always good to have...
No, that's her way of saying that we're actually gonna do it.
Oh, we are going to do it, yes.
Well, perfect. Let's head back to the Dawnspire then and get a little of the paperwork done. I can give you those sashes. That way you can make sure to distinguish yourself. It's kind of a friendly rivalry that we encourage here as the Sentinels. Kind of better oneself and, well, better the community as a whole. Starts to walk back towards the Dawnspire. So, any questions? I know you all are new in town.
No, Gorak already gave them the grand tour. So.
Glad to hear.
Yes, I do have a question for you, Chapter Master.
Please.
Do you know what the men from the Tide Chapter were seeking at the Riftlands?
At the comment, the chapter master kind of gets a curious, kind of deep in thought look across their face for a moment. Know about that, do you? Guess that makes sense with how small Elendor's branch is.
Small. It was only us when we were there.
Really?
I don't know if they have anyone right now. We tried to run a campaign to get some people to join, but maybe those people have kind of gone, this is not life for me.
Dagon did request some other squads to head out that way. Kind of hard, though, being the harsh that it is, to mobilize people and get them willing to trek that desert.
Don't worry, they're going to be safe. Kertos is with them now.
The squads that, and with this, as you're walking back, he kind of lowers his tone a little bit. I know that a few squads went out to the Riftlands. Dagon didn't make it obviously clear what they were intending, but they, if I can remember correctly, found some ancient texts that spoke of something within the Riftlands that just could not be ignored. I don't know exactly, and I have not heard back from them. The last I heard from Dagon was that the squads that went out there had not been heard back from for several months as well, which is definitely worrisome. I pray that Almor is with them, wherever they are, especially as the harsh gets, well, more harsh.
I pray they are with Alamor.
Is arrive back at the Dawnspire. So, let's see here. And goes to a large desk with all manner of papers and documents all across it. Opens a drawer or two. Here we are. Motley Hue, yes. Let's see. Yeah. Dagon said that you guys should probably be at least the Strider. You guys seen some experience. I think that's fair to say. Yeah, we'll bump you up there at least. Kind of folds the paper back up. Tosses it in, then reaches out to a different cabinet where he starts pulling out these kind of amber-hued, kind of almost like orangish brown color of sashes. This is the Strider sash, so 1 level up from the Initiates. Yet again, depending on if you do enter the tournament and other tasks that you do, yeah, I'm sure that you would be able to make your way up in no time. But yeah, it passes 1 out to each of you. So it's just a kind of long piece of cloth that kind of is dyed that color, kind of an amber-hued color. That you can choose to do with what you will. And we encourage
have
that.
one in small.
You can just cut it if you want. Yeah.
Asja, I know you're good with that sort
Oh
of
yeah,
thing. Can
she
you
was
help me
already
make a list?
rummaging in her. Yeah, she was already rummaging. Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I can't really wear different symbols with this outfit, so when I'm wearing my other stuff, I can wear this. But for now, I'll just get Rupert to wear it. So yeah, if just you pass it to me, and she's gonna cut yours for you. She's got her little sewing kit out. She cuts a little strip for Rupert and ties it around his neck. There we go.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Euan, do you need me to sew some of the extra onto yours to make it longer?
Probably. It's a
Okay.
little small.
Bruca, yours is good. And the color goes well with the clothes I made you on the way. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. I should probably pick myself up some... These are very nice for what they were made out of, but I think there's a little bit more comfortable fabrics here in town. But yes, and he's just going to wrap it around his neck. And let it hang over his shoulder.
Well, it's
She'll
not
hand it to Euan, and there we go.
required to wear. We do encourage it. It's a little bit of team spirit, if you would. Other than that, let's see. That house was this. Kind of goes and unlocks a large something underneath the desk that you guys can't quite see. Pulls out, and you hear some jangling of some keys and whatnot. Right here, alright. Kind of hands those off to whoever reaches out and takes them. Those will get you inside and, well, allow you to lock up and whatnot if you want to. For your privacy. Motley Hugh, did you have any symbols that can represent your squad?
Oh, no?
We
Euan looks
haven't
over at
gotten that far. I mean, the name took a while first, so give us time. We are a motley hue, so it takes some time sometimes to make decisions we all agree on.
Understandable.
We should make it a multicolored wyvern.
I like that idea.
Well, yeah. Discuss it, and I'm sure that we can have some symbol kind of drawn up for you all. And kind of sits
Alrighty
down
then.
for a moment. Kind of picks up a different paper. Anything else that you need before you head off?
Where do we sign up for the tournament?
Right, the tournament, yes. Kind of goes and shuffles through a different, folder of sorts. Alright. The Sentinels tournament, the 16th of Flamefall. Looks like we have a decent sign up here. Alright, and you being the Strider rank, we'll make sure to put you guys in with other Striders to begin with. And then, if you will beat them and make your way through, you'll be able to face off against some other higher ranked individuals. The ruling on this tournament is fight till unconscious. We don't want any deaths happening. That would be, well, very bad. We will have the apothecary right with us and be able to make sure, at least try to prevent that at all costs. We ask that you do not try to harm anyone who either forfeits or is downed. But, yeah. Let's see if you want to just sign here.
Yep. Rhukkarrak will sign.
Alrighty. It will be. Let's see.
As will Asja.
The tournament will take place over probably a day or two, depending on everyone's ability. Yeah, we'll have a runner come and deliver when your first match will occur.
Excellent.
Asja will scoop up the keys. Okay, well, if you don't need us anymore, we have a few things we need to go and do. Hopefully we will see you around.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you here at the Desert Chapter Motley Hue. I'm excited to see what you're capable of.
Being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that one is.
So
Let's
not too
not-
much a pain. Kind of gives a wry smile.
Let's not set that as a precedence, please.
Well, it's not that we're a pain in the ass, it's more the fact that we have a habit of stumbling into things that maybe we weren't supposed to stumble into, but then we stumble into them and, we're a pain in people's ass because we stumble into things and then stop things that, maybe weren't supposed to happen in the first place. I don't really think that's pain in the ass. I think what I do to some people is called pain in the ass, though.
That's what I was thinking about.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that
The Wyvern was the last pain in the ass.
Rhukkarrak was kind of staring at you for a moment and then just kind of tuned you out and is now looking at some other papers.
Alright, let's go.
Maybe it should be a multicolored ash stain or CG.
No, let's not do that.
No.
Alrighty. I
Leave
know,
the office.
Asja, you wanted to go with me to the Captain of the Lost?
I said I would go over there with you, yes, and at least get you looking in the right direction, or at least we can figure out if this Finian has any of the information you're looking for. But I would just like to meet them because she kind of lowers her voice. Does anybody else think it's a little weird that I'm the keeper of the Lost and he's the captain of the Lost?
I did not even think about
That is what that Sphinx said, right? Or that creature, or whatever it was of the sand and the... I don't
Seems a
know.
little too spot on to be a coincidence.
Right, there's just a few too many coincidences happening. And it all started when I met you. Well, no, it all started when you decided you were going to go to Mithril, and then you came through my doors, and then all of this Whew. Well, things work in weird ways. Alright. Maldorwen, you have what you want to go and do.
I was actually going to ask Fortis if he wants to come with me to the Hammer first. Do you want to see the smithy? I would be interested in that.
Actually, that sounds like a great idea. I was planning on heading over there myself while Asja and Rhukkarrak went over to the archive.
Yeah,
Then
and then after
go.
that, I'm going to go maybe ask if I could, I don't know, book a spa appointment before, we go and fight so that, we can have a better house.
If you go over to see Damaris today, I would like to go with you, little one. If you don't mind.
Oh, definitely. But I think, I don't know. I don't know. I would like to keep an eye on what he wants to do with the tree.
That's understood. I just have a few questions for him.
I also need to collect my other half of the payment.
That's right, you do. What do you plan on asking for?
You'll see.
Very well.
All right, you do have fun at the forge. And I'm going to take Rhukkarrak over there. See you guys again. She's just gonna walk off towards the archives.
All right. So as both the Rhukka and Asja head off towards the archives, Maldorwen and Euan are heading off towards the forges. Yeah.
That would be correct.
Okay. Let's just have both roll a d20. Let's see who goes first.
I'm guessing Asja is representing. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
And it begins.
Natural one.
The natural one.
Out of the way.
At least it doesn't matter that much.
So it begins. At least it wasn't a 0.
Yeah.
Well, technically it would have been in like initiative, so yeah, it is 0 now.
Daggone it!
Alright. So as both the Rhukkarrak and Asja kind of head off towards the kind of towering buildings, definitely one of the more impressive spots here as well. A little more well put together than maybe some of the other spots that are a little more lived in, if you would. And you see all manner of, where out at the like training yard you saw like the more martial classes, like barbarians and fighters, more or less, like people that were using athletics and acrobatics to dodge obstacles and whatnot. As you kind of transition over into this place, where there are multiple different buildings here as well, you see more the scholarly folk, what appears to be more like the wizards and sorcerers, perhaps, of the place. Not as bulky and muscly of individuals. You see multiple people just kind of studying different books and kind of talking amongst each other. You do see a little bit closer to the sparring, but like on your way, there is a little bit of arcane duel that is happening kind of in the street there, more or less, as they kind of, one throws off like a bolt of this fire, the other one kind of catches it and kind of passes it back. A little bit of arcanery sparring happening here as well. But as you arrive at these archives, you're able to walk in, and you see large different bookcases that align the different walls here. Yet again, kind of diagrams of different, what you consume would be different elements or other just arcane implements. It gives you definitely a similar feeling to the Tower of Enlightenment or the Spire of Enlightenment that you visited yesterday, but it's definitely not as prestigious and well kept. But it's still nice, and there's a lot of knowledge to be had here. As you kind of walk in, you see one individual who's wearing a similar amber sash, kind of checking out a book from kind of a desk there, where behind the desk you see a feminine Goliath, in this case, who is currently giving them a book and kind of filling out some paperwork. As they then kind of brush past you, giving you a little nod, and head off. The Goliath kind of calls out to you. Welcome. Do you need any
Hello.
books or implements of study?
We do need books, but I would also like to make an appointment, or if they're available now, I would also like to speak to the captain of the Lost Finian. I believe that's the name I was given to speak to.
Yes, Finian. Yeah,
but my friend here would like to find books with some more specifics to his knowledge desires.
See. Well, let's start with you then. What would the appointment be involving? And it pulls out a little piece of paper. Just a brief rundown of why you
would like to talk to the captain?
Please tell him that Asja Einarog would like to speak to him. I hail from Mythendril and have some questions about lost things.
From
Hopefully he will understand.
Mithrindale? Go ahead and just make a persuasion check for me.
20, dirty.
30-20, there you go. Her eyes kind of go wide for a moment. Really? I'm sure he'll be very happy to speak with you. If
Thank
what
you.
you say is true, that is Mithrindale. That's... Don't get a lot of people from there in.
You've had people from Mythendril before. That's interesting. I only know about 6 that didn't make it to our settlement, so... Small list.
She just kind of nods. Alright, yeah. I'll contact him. Probably be a couple minutes. Probably be interested. I'm sure he's doing something currently, but we'll see. For you, kind of looks towards Rhukkarrak. What do you need?
Oh, there is a shrine just north of Elendor. I was hoping to find some information about it.
Okay. Well, I can point you in the direction of maybe where you could find some books on it. Any more information about the shrine that you have currently? Like, kind of vague?
You do have the name, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I need to organize my notes better.
It has been a couple months. Go ahead and just roll a history check for me.
Yeah, okay. I was like, it says understand death energy shrine. Oh, darn it, that's not worth it.
That's all
down somewhere.
Rhukkarrak remember.
Okay.
So yeah, just go ahead and roll a history. We'll see if in this moment Rhukkarrak can remember the name.
Yep. It's been it's a 9.
Yeah, you don't remember the exact name. You remember that it had to do with life and death. But
Asja was there. Can Asja roll a history check?
yeah, if you want to as well.
No.
Yeah, it's the shrine.
It's
All of our luck
No,
from the
it's-
last couple of days has just left us.
Yeah. He's like, sorry, we actually just came here through the Harsh, so it's my brain is a bit melted at the moment, so
No, that's fine. We do have.
I just remember it had to do with light and dark, or life and death energy, some balance or something.
Yeah, we do have a section of different lost remnants and landmarks that could potentially find something in there. I'll point you. Kind of. He stands up, and she is tall, probably 6.5 feet. Not quite as tall as Euan, but definitely overshadows the two of you. Kind of walks over and points you over in a direction. Yeah, just right over there on that shelf. Hopefully you can find what you're looking for.
Thank you. I was mostly accompanying Asja here today. I will be back though to look into that.
Well, we've got a few minutes. What are you wasting time for? And she walks over to the shelf, and the first thing you see her do is go, "Ugh, that smell." So you have to lean in and appreciate the smell before you touch them.
You do get the strong scent of kind of a little bit of that mildew and just book scent.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. And he'll lean in and just gingerly sniff quickly.
Your
Oh,
nose
yeah.
explodes. No. Roll a
Little did
con
Rhukkarrak
save.
know that he was allergic to bugs.
Yep.
But
All
yes, if we've got a few minutes to wait, we might as well at least start looking. From looking over there, watching the person leave, apparently you can take out the books. So if we could at least find a few titles that maybe would have some information. You have reading material before you go to bed at night. You don't have to stay in here to read it. You can apparently take it out, I guess.
Yes, since I have not seen your faces, I'll just disclose a little bit of the rules here. We ask if you do want to check out a book, make sure to do so with the front desk here. And then you can have it for an allotted time. If it is damaged or destroyed, we do ask that payment be submitted to replace it. If you're just studying here in the library, though, and the archives here, you should be fine to just, as long as you take good care of it and place it back to where you found it, at least.
And how would we figure out where we got it from? This looks like a mess. So I don't mean to be insulting, but
Well, you see,
She turns and smiles.
you take
Don't
the book
worry.
off a shelf. You make sure you remember which shelf you took it off of. You read said book, and then you put it back on that shelf.
is there any particular order on this shelf?
There is, yes. You can see a little bit of hesitation in her eyes. Yes, it's all very well organized, but I understand that not everyone knows how it's organized, so as long as it's on the same shelf, I'll be happy.
Okay, I will try to remember where I got it from and put it exactly back where it came from.
Just kind of gives a nod and kind of eyes you a little bit.
I'll go speak with Finian currently and see if he's currently busy. If not, then I'll probably be back here in a moment with him.
Just kind of gives you a nod.
Perfect.
Or heading off.
She's a lot more tolerant than they were back in Mythendril. An easy way to do it. She kind of looks at the shelves. Nope, she's not that good at dusting. An easy way to check is when you pull a book out. Generally, in a lot of sections, the books aren't exactly taken out every single day. So when you slide it out, and she slides a book out of a more of a lower shelf. See how the dust goes? Very good way to remember where you took the book from. She slides it back in.
True, but we are planning on going to lots of books in this section, right? So I don't know. Okay. I mean, do you know how it is organized?
Well, I don't know how her organization is. Every different place is different. It depends on who the head archivist is, or sometimes even just who the person who takes care of the stacks and the racks and all the rest of that. Every single person has a different organization, and you just have to learn based on where you are. And as she's talking to you, she is going through all of the titles of the books. And I guess anything that might have to do with shrines or life and death or the theories of kind of deal, she'll pull them out and start putting them on a table.
Okay, go ahead and just do and Rhukkarrak, you as well, an investigation check for me. See if you can find anything of noteworthy.
Oh,
17.
Double 17s.
our dice agree. Yay!
Nice. Yeah, the section that you guys are kind of looking at, you see all manner of books that reference different ruins and ancient things that have been found. One's the title is more like Ancient Places Across Aruthar, or another one's Places Lost to History. And you kind of pull some of those out and start to flip through them. And they kind of just mention a little bit. You do see mention of a little paragraph as you read the large kind of carved, not statue, but butte that you passed. That they kind of go into a little more detail of how present day, people have kind of adopted this ancient unknown origin figure as like the Watcher, and that some people, especially merchants and travelers, kind of pray to this individual to see their safe travels be realized. As you kind of have a minute here, now both of you go ahead and roll one more time now that you found books that look like they could be of use, to see if you can find specific information about this shrine.
Oh, I get +0, so
Dirty
actually getting a
20.
14.
14 for Rhukkarrak, dirty 20 for Asja. So, yeah, Rhukkarrak, you just kind of are a little bit curious about that, read a little more on that as you flip through. You don't find anything that resembles this shrine that you heard about previously. Asja, it takes you a minute, you kind of flip through some things. You do see a couple different shrines mentioned, but none of them ring out to you. But then you do flip a page and you do see the Shrine of Duality. There's a small little kind of paragraph or two on it, not a whole lot of information. And it just basically says, curious shrine that was located due northeast of Elendor. Many theories have been crafted as to what its purposes were, but it does contain dangers, and so not a thorough investigation was able to be had at this spot. We believe from a distance that it had to do with something concerning life and death, and the cycle they're in, may be tied to the spiritual realm. Further exploration should be, and it kind of goes into like details of, like, we want to get more information on this, but haven't yet, at least in this book.
Here. Shrine of Duality. And she hands Rukka the book so that he can read
That's what it's called. Alright.
Unfortunately, apparently it's too dangerous for them to have fully explored, so that's what you're going to get.
Too dangerous?
Maybe it was a good thing that we didn't go to it in the beginning. That's what it says.
I want to know what the dangers are.
With
I don't know. They also...
Your dirty 22, Asja, there's little notations underneath like the little paragraph there that say like a team of Sentinels surveyed this from Elendor. And we've archived that from a message and report received from Elendor.
Apparently it was a team from Elendor. I don't know. That's the little notes down at the bottom right there say. And as Rook is reading, she'll pick up a book that's already been read and put it back on the shelf exactly where it's supposed to go.
It was surveyed?
Apparently. By the Sentinels. Back in Elendor. So,
most of them are missing.
Yes, but maybe Dagon has some information on it.
Well, that's you're probably going to have to worry about later.
Okay.
I might come back here to see if there's any other information about death energy or whatever, but who knows?
You go have fun. You should go catch up with your friends and go have drinks.
Yes, I will do that.
Alright.
Don't get too lost in these books.
Oh, that's not a problem. What you should worry about is when I leave the books, then I won't get lost. These cities are much too big.
Yes, well, you can just stick around this area. There's pretty much everything you could need, except maybe the plant.
The thing.
What?
Yeah, the thing. Why don't we just say the thing?
The thing. Anyway,
Jorge.
yes, I'm going to go.
Right. We could call him Jorge. There we go. We will call it Jorge from now on. There we go. So we don't talk about Jorge in public, though. Unless we use the word Jorge.
Right. Jorge.
Yeah, it's from a story I read when I was younger. I really liked the name.
Ah.
Go have a drink. Bye. She's like in a book. Like she's still looking in books and stuff like that. She's kid at Christmas. Kid at Christmas right now. Big smile on her face. She looks happier than she's looked in months, mostly because she's been trudging across the desert. It's hard to keep a smile on your face. But she just looks in her element. Completely in her element. As if her radiant life energy is now glowing more because, you know, enhanced by the glow of the book. There we go.
All right. And we don't need to really roleplay it. He's just going to do regular catch up, small talk.
Okay. As Rhukkarrak heads back there, not too long after he departs, you're sitting there for about 10 to 15-ish minutes. The Goliath returns alongside a elfin figure as she kind of sits down at the desk and looks over and calls to you. Miss... Kind of gets your attention as you look up from your book. You see, definitely middle-aged elf, you would presume, but they almost appear to be like just squinting, like deep in thought as they walk towards you. High cheekbones, kind of an angular face, tall and slender, not as tall as the Goliath there, but around 6 feet. Pretty elegant robes of sorts that kind of adorn their frame. Kind of silverish hair that is pulled back into like a long ponytail, if you would, as they kind of arrive at the and look towards you.
Oh, you must be this Mithrindel individual, person from the ancient lost city. I guess it's not quite ancient, but is this you?
It was only 80 years ago.
Oh, you're right. The lost city, then. You are quite young for one from the city, though. You yourself probably aren't much older than 80.
At least a decade or two older, but thank you for the compliment that I still look young.
And just a child when it fell. Greetings.
If you would like to go somewhere, you can ask as many questions as you would like. But yes, I was very young when Mithindra fell. So were... Her voice lowers a little bit. All of the other survivors.
Just kind of gives it on.
Well, greetings. I am Finian, captain of the Lost here at the Desert Chapter. Please.
Kind of beckons you.
Just one moment. I don't want to get on the bad side of her. And she very quickly, like, book.
As you can see, she was definitely, like, peering over from the desk, like, staring at you, like, with a quizzical, like, is she gonna do it? As you return everything, she kind of nods and a smile. She returns to her work as well.
I had the fear of everything put in me. I grew up in the archives in Mithindra. I know how they work.
Yes. I know, Rock,
You
said.
never make them upset. Yes.
I can see your clothing reflects that as well. I am very curious. Speak with you, please.
And I am curious to speak to you because you are the captain of the Lost, and yet one of my titles that I have been given is the Keeper of the Lost. So I do believe that you and I probably have things to discuss.
Oh, most
Lots
certainly.
of things. Excellent.
As you follow Finn
She will
into
just follow him.
back room of the archives here, we're gonna transition over to both Maldorwen and Euan as you guys arrive at the Emberite, the large kind of forge portion of the desert chapter here. You hear metal across metal. The heat from the forge is pretty looming. I mean, it's hot regardless where you are currently, but it's a little hotter here. As you kind of step up, you see a kind of towering, well, not towering, but little shorter than you, Euan, Black Drakthir, who's currently shaping some sort of sword at the forge there. You can see right before you get too close to like make conversation, they kind of get deep inhale and then just spew flames out onto the blade right then and there, as it is orange hot before tinging away at the metal again. But as you kind of approach a little closer, they kind of look up from the blade that they're crafting and just take another deep inhale and then just an exhale, not a flame this time, just of air, before throwing it to some water as it steams and sizzles and kind of look towards you all.
Welcome. Is there something I can get for you?
As we walk in and everything, there's a brief moment where Euan will stop and also take a deep inhale, and a smile kind of curls at the edges of his mouth. He looks down to Maldorwen and says, "You smell that, brother? It smells like home." And then we'll greet the Dragonborn, or the Drakthir at the or behind the counters, and say, "Yes, pleasure to meet you. We are newcomers here and kind of transfers from the Tide chapter. We were told this is the place to come for arms and armor."
That is correct.
Kind of pulls off some goggles that get adorned, a little bit of like sweat.
Yes, different armaments, we can get you equipped.
I was wondering what you guys could do with this, and he will produce his halberd and put it on the counter.
Okay.
I assume from the desert, the desert journey, I would assume it's kind of chewed up a little bit. Probably needs some repairs.
Could use a little bit of love. Yep.
Yeah, could use a little bit of love.
Yeah, I think Maldorwen would do the same with his rapier at the same time. Like handing it to Euan so he can put it on the counter.
Yeah. Especially
Maldorwen.
after Meteor diving a mummy.
Yes. Maldorwen, as you're kind of doing that as well, your passive insight, you just kind of notice that this figure is just staring quite oddly at Euan. Before they kind of shake and then look towards the weapons on the table there.
We could, yes, a little bit of scrapes, a little bit of dents. We could hammer those all out. Are they enchanted at all?
The halberd isn't. My great sword is, but I've been keeping a little bit better care of that one for the time being. We will go ahead and put the great sword up on the counter as well. But it's, seeing as that one is actually magical, it's probably in much better condition, even having lopped off the tail of a wyvern.
It's a beautiful plate. Some is this ember glass in the middle here?
Aye. That one was purchased, well, was supposed to be purchased. I was working in the forges in Elendor as payment. And then we were tasked with bringing a delivery out here, and it was offered to me as payment for that. So, we are very lucky.
Looks over his shoulder.
Valiant, get out here!
As you see another kind of bulkier elf who kind of comes from a back room there. That looks vaguely familiar. Kind of long brown hair. He looks quite similar to the Forge Master in Elendor. Very similar facial features, and you do also see that on a wrist there is a small little gemstone that glitters with some of the sunlight as he comes out and kind of...
What do you want? I'm busy out there. You gotta see this blade. I believe it was made by your brother.
What? Kind of steps out.
Oh yeah, that's his work for sure.
You got this from the Elendor then, yeah?
Right.
Curious. Glad to see that brother's doing good work. It looks beautifully made. I'm
The
Valiant
forge that he runs.
Silvers.
Oh. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Euan. They'll shake, or offer a hand to shake.
Yeah, he'll grasp your hand.
I worked briefly with your brother in the forge.
Oh, is that so?
I helped some of the wooden shafts and things as such. They'll kind of show the scabbard that he helped fashion for the great sword to be able to use it as a cane. Put it up there with it so that way you can see the craftsmanship of that as well.
Very well crafted.
Initially, I was working to help pay this off, but our benefactor that tasked us with our mission paid for our things as part of our payment for bringing the package here, if you will.
I see. Well, pleasure to meet you. This looks fantastic. If you have any other needs, yeah, he'll handle you. I got other work to do, though, but pleasure.
He kind of gives a nod to Maldorwen as well before heading back toward the back rooms.
We don't see a whole lot of blades like this, that's for sure. It's quite the delicate work combining steel and emberglass. Something that we don't do really here.
Yeah, he'll kind of brush some of the sand and whatnot off of his armor, so that way the armor is visible as well, with the emberglass inlaid in it.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
This would be his handiwork as well.
But, very nice. Yeah, we can definitely get these hammered out and tuned up, all nice and sharp and well equipped. You want to just leave them here for the day, come back tomorrow, we should have it done. We have a little bit of a backlog, but we can get to them.
What would it take to get these enchanted, per se?
Enchanted. Yes, that is... You'll want to take them over.
He kind of points towards the other building there that Rhukkarrak kind of pointed out. It was kind of hard to see exactly where he was pointing at from the distance. But another building kind of adjacent to the current building you're at.
Over there, the Arcane Hammer. They'll be able to help you, well, imbue it with some more enchantments if you would like.
Yep, very well. But after they're taken care of, warrior's only as good as his weapons are. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Actually, I think the saying's the other way around, but in this case, I'd hate to see it break.
It is quite finely crafted itself as well.
Kind of like feeling the steel of the halberd.
It's crafted long ago from my home, but those forges are no longer roaring with flame. Kind of says with a bit of a sad, almost melancholy to the sentence.
Another kind of just flash of like curiosity flashes across his face, but it doesn't further inquire.
Alright, well, anything else you need?
What about you, Maldorwen?
I just wanted to ask, what's the price for your work?
I mean, these aren't incredibly damaged, just only take a bit of time, couple silver.
Yeah, I'll take care of it, Maldorwen, it's fine.
And you'll pay when you pick them up.
Very well.
Okay.
And I think we're going to be here for a while. If you guys need any help around the forges, feel free to reach out for me. We are part of the, like I said, part of the Tide chapter, but we're here for the foreseeable future because of the Harsh.
I see. Yeah, well, there's always things to do here as well. If you have a day or two that leisure and no other assignments to accompany you, we'll more than gladly take the help for a bit of coin.
And certainly, if I don't come in and you need something, feel free to ask. I'm not that easy to miss.
I've noticed. Well, if you don't mind me, get back to what I was working on.
Yep, very well.
Kind of puts back on some of the goggles and picks back up the now cooled sword, and then goes and tosses it into the flames for a moment before taking it out red hot again and continuing to sharpen or shape the blade there.
All right. As we turn to leave, Euan will kind of absent-mindedly pick up Maldorwen and put him on the shoulder. Well, where to next?
I was wondering when you would do that. Thank you. You know, I don't like to walk. I also can see better from here. Much better. Well, do you want to meet with Asja now? You said you were going to go with her to see Damaris. Is that what you want to do?
I think so. I still want to talk over at the Arcane Hammer about enchantment, but I think it probably best to wait till the weapons are finished. So that can be a tomorrow problem.
Well, if you're going to go there, I would appreciate if you could walk me over to the courtyard. I think I will go try and speak to one of the representatives from Kertas that I think lives here in Valtari. I think he's a member of the council. I just want to ask what's going on with Kertas going to Elendor. It's something that I have been thinking about, and I just need to try and find out more about it. I will also write to Tarin tonight. Hopefully, I can also find where I can send a letter to her.
All right. I can absolutely do that for you, Maldorwen. He's kind of balancing himself now using the great sword as a cane since he's left his halberd here. And fairly slowly make their way out to the courtyard, so that way Maldorwen can get the information that he needs, and Euan can go and look for Asja.
Okay. As you guys are walking back there, or Euan walks as Maldorwen rides over to the courtyard, not too long after you leave this place, kind of spry, younger elven figure kind of jaunts up to you. Not a super big hurry, but a little bit of expediency to their step. Kind of greets you all. Greetings. You two are part of Motley Hue, yeah?
Right, that'd be correct.
Oh, welcome to the Desert Chapter. We had some mail come in from Elendor that was kept here until you guys arrived. Kind of passes out 2 different letters.
Much appreciated. I'm sorry, I don't do cities very much. Am I supposed to give you a tip, or...
Oh, no.
I don't understand the protocol.
You're good. But
if I were to send a letter, can I hand it to you? And you will take it where it needs to be sent?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Probably want to do it through the Dawn Spire over there. We have a little bit more of operations. That way you're sending it to the right person and whatnot, and then we'll take it out through and ship it through the Valtari systems.
Thank you.
Gives a nod. Have a good day. And
You as well.
the 2 letters there, They're kind of bound together with a little bit of string. But they do say to Maldorwen, or like has Maldorwen's name on them.
His name or Maldorwen?
Maldorwen.
Okay.
I think these are for you.
Okay. Interesting. Thanks for this.
All right. Well, as you two continue to walk there, we'll head on back over to Asja. As you kind of are led into a back-end room here of the archives, the Finian kind of leads you and motions towards a seat, sits down himself. So, well, first, you start. Why? What brought you here?
Oh, that would be somebody named Euan. He had a mission for, well, a job for us to protect the package to come here. I had only been in Elendor for maybe 3 weeks. Before that, I had never left where we live now for, well, 80 years.
Okay. Yeah, I was more of asking what brought you
to
here.
you.
Yes.
Well, first off, you run an archive. I think you could understand why that would draw me in. But, recently we had an experience in the desert where we found a temple of some sort. But there was something very ancient that also lived in the temple. But it also kind of gave me the title of Keeper of the Lost. And well, when I heard that you're the captain of the Lost and you really like the lost things, and I really like the lost things as well, and apparently I'm the Keeper of the Lost, I figured we should probably meet.
You can just see across this individual's face that, like, they've blue screened. Like, just lost in thought, like, wide-eyed.
The ADHD has won again.
Just all matter of, like, what? So, wait, okay. That's a lot.
I figured.
You found a temple in the desert. Let's start there. Where?
Yes. I guess it was about, at least at the time, but seeing as now is the time of the storms, at least at the time it was maybe about 15, 16 days, which direction? Southish? Southish, I guess.
Yeah, it would have been
southeast-ish. Yeah, southeast-ish.
Huh. Mental note taken. All right. And what was in this place?
Lots of very interesting things. And she smiles and pulls out her notebook, and there's obviously little pieces of paper kind of flayed out.
Asja, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. A 13!
Okay.
Yay!
As you kind of start pulling out some of your markings that you or how you the rubbings, more or less. Yes.
Yeah, the rubbings, yeah.
You pull out some of them and you recognize a little bit. You've done a little bit of research on these before, but one of the papers here has a large portion of it that is missing. The center portion of the paper almost appears to be just gone. Finian at that point starts to like pick up some of the papers if you allow him to, and start to look over them a bit. What in the world?
If you help me figure this out, we could do it together. Does that sound like a good deal?
Recently was this discovery?
As I said, it was about the 16th day. We arrived yesterday, so I guess 17 days. But this is probably something you should keep very, very quiet, because if it has to do with other things that I know about, if the wrong people hear that you have the information, it could be very bad for you.
Right. Certain information can be very dangerous. Okay, and you said something about, I don't know, receiving a title from some sort of sphinx? Is that the word you used?
That's the word that my friend Maldorwen said was a sphinx. I don't know.
I have heard of these.
It wasn't really
creatures.
there, but it seemed that because it was so old, maybe it wasn't there that much anymore. But here, come. She's gonna, like, if there's a table or something, she'll, like, stand up and put her notebook down and just start spreading out her notes. All right. So when we fell into it, these were some of the markings, but this page right here, there is something missing from here. Now, I don't know whether the person we were traveling with removed it, or whether maybe it just vanished.
As you kind of have your papers sprawled out there, and a little more organized now on this table, you can ascertain which is missing. And from that third kind of mural, or that technically second, like, engraving across the wall, there were 5 unique symbol or circles. 4 of them are very present. The one in the middle is no longer there. And you distinctly remember making a rubbing of that one, as it was mysterious. It was... No one knew what it was.
I still remember slightly. This one right here, she kind of grabs at one of her pencils and draws a circle in. The marking that was in the center of it, though, it was very worn, but none of us recognized it. This is obviously Alamor and Lunar. And then you have Venthara or Ares. But if she goes through her notes and finds the rubbing. If you look here, it's similar to Elven enough that some words I could make sense of, but But if I remember correctly from what I read when I was a child, Venthara was the other, I guess, the ancient term for Ares, the planet of air. This one would be Ignis Eris, and this one would be Aqua, and this one would be Teradin. The one in the center, I couldn't understand what the symbol was, but... Wait. Either way, that's something I will have to look into. I just had a thought, but I'm going to have to look into that in a minute. But a lot of this scripting, I couldn't quite translate myself. I can translate parts of it, like she points out the few words that she was able to translate, and she'll this one and this one and this one and this one.
So over the next little while, how much do you share with Finian here? Like, you guys learned a lot down there about...
She is not sharing the whole, going up in the sky teleportation thing. She's playing dumb. she's playing dumb that she has no idea what that site was actually for. And she's more playing on the fact that, she's trying to maybe ascertain more information about this place through his help of the languages that are, lost languages. And seeing as, he is the another keeper of the lost, then perhaps he has some more information on the ancient lost language that she's trying to slowly translate.
Yep. All right.
Like, she's not like, if he looks at the thing of like the little drawing of like the people going, she's like, I have no idea what that means. At that point in her mind, she can justify a little white lie, so
Right. Go ahead and just give me a deception check. See how well you're able to keep back some of that information as you're kind of trying to ascertain some more of the deeper information here.
14.
Okay. So over the next probably 30, 40 minutes, an hour, you two kind of examine some of these rubbings that you made, some of the glyphs that were from this ancient language. And Finian is thoroughly enthralled by all of this. And just kind of a sponge to all this information. He does kind of pipe up at some points.
So, yes, this all does look like ancient stuff. Like, this language predates, many, a long time ago, centuries, eons. You just stumbled across it. We're gonna need to...
Kind of fell into it. My bad.
Harsh.
Well, we will be here for the harsh. And we are staying in the house just across the courtyard. So I can, when I'm not doing the other thing I want to look into, I could maybe help out around the place, and we could... I don't know, if you wanted to help me research this, I could help you research some other things. I'm very good at it. Right, we did get distracted. She holds at her head. Asja Ironrock. I don't know if you ever went to Mythendrol or went to the archives, but my grandmother was more the person you probably would have met. Yes, I am very young. It is a very long story, but basically there was enough time before the Kazdorm came that a lot of the children of the Ainarog were gathered together and we were taken out of the city. We have survived for 80 years by ourselves. Now is the time, though, that we are being called back out. I hope that answers some of your questions.
It does, and it adds a lot more to them. Yeah, we will need to discuss a lot of things, I feel.
Well, we have all seasons, no problem.
Wow. And just kind of, yet again, like squinting in thought of just... You can only imagine what this individual's just thinking. You can practically see the steam coming out of their ears.
I broke the head archivist. Yes. Sorry. But we have been at this for quite some time, and she's going to gather up her notes and put them back in and put her book away. And I do need to go in to meet back up with my friends. We're going to head over to Damaris Fanes to talk to him for a small bit.
See.
But anytime you need me, you are more than welcome to please come find me, or I will probably be here most days. I'm hoping that I can use your archives to do some personal research as well.
Absolutely.
request, and it's totally okay if you say no, but could you leave some of those notes here so I may, when I have a bit more time, see if I can't decipher more of this language and meaning behind it.
She opens up her book. I will leave from... This was from the broken platform. Here you go.
Much obliged. There are many secrets hidden in the dunes of the Shifting Sand Sea, and it is very rare that we come across something this, well, important. And the fact that you just stumbled upon it seems like a gift from Alamor. Thank you. I will fill you in on anything I do discover from these pages.
And I will fill you in on anything I discover from my half of the information. But until then, I will let you do your work, and I thank you for giving me your time. But I should probably go meet up with my friends, and yeah, I still want to make time for going to get a good massage. Don't ever walk across the desert, even though it's maybe easier to find neat things. Don't do it don't walk across the desert in Embervale. And she just kind of walks out the door, shaking her head.
Okay. So as Euan and Maldorwen, you guys are heading towards the courtyard? Like, what, where do you mean with that?
Euan is going wherever Maldorwen is asking him to take him.
Okay.
Like that place where we found people sparring? Rhukkarrak's friends, like the entrance courtyard?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to go off into the city.
Okay. As you guys are heading that way, you're easily able to head back out towards the airways that can take you pretty much anywhere you want to go. Neither you are super familiar with the city still, as it is still your second day here. So it might be a little bit of a challenge finding your way around, but you can certainly try. You guys were only at the forge for just moments, like a couple minutes. Asja now has spent several minutes in with Finian, and discussing notes and whatnot. And so you both do not see her at all. You might see, we'll say around this time, you see Rhukkarrak kind of heading towards the tavern over there, as you guys are like crossing part of the courtyard.
Euan will raise a hand in greeting. Rhukkarrak! Over here!
Rhukkarrak doesn't hear you. Steps into the tavern.
Yeah.
I lost track of my mouse.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, I need to click the button. Anyway. You're in the courtyard? I thought Rhukkarrak's in the tavern.
Yeah, so on your way to the tavern, he kind of calls out to you.
Oh, you saw it. Okay. Okay. Oh. Hi. Hi, Euan. How was the forge?
Smelled like home. Got a few weird glances, but other than that, they're taking care of our weapons for us, which is nice. I think I'm going to pay a visit to the Arcane Hammer tomorrow. See what they can do with that old halberd of mine.
That would be good. I don't think I have anything worth enchanting other than my Emberglass sword, which is already enchanted.
That's fair.
I think they can double enchant? I don't even know how that works. Maybe I'll ask.
How are the archives?
There was a lot of books. I might go back later to. They didn't really have that much information on the shrine that I was looking for. But I mean, we may want to try and see if the Tide Chapter Sentinels have survived somehow. Because they would be the only one that have any updated information on this shrine. Or just talk to the chapter master down there when we go down there. Anyway. But yes, I'm just headed to get drinks. What are you two up to?
I was trying to meet up with Asja, but I assume with the archives, she is lost to her own devices. If there are that many books there. So it might be a while.
Yes, she was also trying to get a meeting with the person in charge.
That's not surprising.
Captain is
either.
lost.
Well,
So
if you can put me down, Euan, I was actually going to go into the city, try to find someone.
Euan chucks him like a basketball into the city. No. Euan will lift him down from his shoulder and set him down.
Plays Angry
Well,
Birds.
you be safe out there. And I will probably go and wait by the archives for Asja. Hopefully they have a bench or something I can sit down at.
The city can be a lot, and some areas can be not as great as others. Did you want to? I would not recommend going alone, but
Are you worried about me, seriously? Oh, that warms my heart.
well, you are a part of the Motley Hue, so anyway.
Well, I think I will be fine. I don't think there will be any problem. If anything, maybe I will struggle finding who I'm looking for. But, I'm looking for a gnome, so I don't think you would be able to help in that. But thanks.
At the very least, he won't be in people's direct line of vision. It kind of makes it like a symbol with his hands that just kind of essentially means short.
All right then. Good luck. I have some time to spend with Rhukkarrak. Hopefully, Vakra will join us. Euan, you are more than welcome to join as well if you would like. But
I appreciate that. Your friends seem like decent people.
Yes, you should introduce me to Vakra when I come back. I'll see you at night, I guess.
Rhukka, how long did you travel with him before you left?
it was a good almost 2 years.
Well, why did you leave?
I spent one of the harshes in the Floringness, and then spent another one here, where I met Maldorwen's sister, and then I went on that. So it's about 2 years.
What made you leave the group? Meet up with us, motley lot.
Well, I had my lead for the death energy that didn't really pan out. That was the main reason why I left. But Asja's sister also recommended that I meet Maldorwen. Not Asja's sister, Maldorwen's sister. Oh my goodness. I think I need to get out of the sun.
I think it could do you some good. I'm also going to go
Yes.
find a place to sit down. I'm still very sore from that journey.
You may want to get the keys from Asja and check out our place we'll be staying, probably for the rest of the Harsh. Unless you are planning on heading to the apothecary.
I'll probably head to the archives, just to see if, just to wait around for her. The issues that I want to discuss with Damaris are kind of weighing heavily on my mind, so I'd rather wait around so that way we can hurry and get there when she's done.
Alright, well, I'm gonna spend the evening catching up with my old friends. If you need me, I will probably be in the tavern, or yeah, probably in the tavern. I
Hope you have a wonderful time, Rhukkarrak.
I hope so.
All right.
Yes, we can figure out what we'll do tomorrow.
As Ruka heads off to the tavern, Euan heading off towards the archives to meet back up with Asja, Maldorwen stepping out into the city, all by his gnome. We're going to take a quick break. We return as Maldorwen steps on board the glass surface of the airway here. As the tubular kind of device here closes, the winds start to pick up. Maldorwen, where are you wanting to try to head to?
Right, so Maldorwen wants to go to, like, the central district, or maybe, like, he's going to ask around for, like, where are the, like, council member chambers, or, like, their meeting place.
Okay.
Like, someone, or, I mean, somewhere he knows he can find someone to maybe, like, schedule an appointment or something like that.
Right. Okay. After a bit of a conversation here and there, easy enough, you're pointed back towards the Spire District, which you visited previously on the previous day. And they tell you the main giant spire that is in the very center of the city is where you will want to go. And so,
Right, so that's where he's going.
as you fly around on this tube of glass that brings you all across the city, you eventually do make your way to the Spire District after a fair amount of time in there. It has several other stops, and you have to be like, look out and like, this isn't the right spot. All right, just stay on. And you're just waiting on the train until what you hope to be your stop. Eventually, it looks vaguely familiar to what you visited yesterday. You are relatively confident that this is the right spot. And you step off the airway. Go ahead.
Yes, like, how much does the train or, like, the wagon move? Would I be able to, like, read as I'm going there?
Yeah, it is. Well, okay. A paper. There is a pretty strong breeze that occurs inside the airway as well. You could pull out the letters and, like, hold onto them tightly, but there might be a chance that it, like, blows out of your hand. So I'll leave that up to you if you want to attempt to read, or save it for later.
No, I'd rather not do that. I think.
Yep, letter gone. No. Alright, so you think about the prospect of what is in that letter. Is it from Terran? Who knows? But that will have to wait, as you feel the wind kind of rustling the feathers on top of your helm, and don't want it to also rustle the paper away from you. So, you eventually arrive at the Spire District, where you're able to then step out into the large kind of courtyards with all manner of sculptures of very finely crafted, what appears to be different elven, maybe figures, or just kind of bizarre artistic implementations here. Not a lot of them have what's completely obvious as to what they are, but it's pretty. And kind of all glimmers with the light of Alamor from above. As you kind of start walking out towards the largest structure here, the towering spires, there's several spires that are built into this one spire. And it is grandiose. Like, you remember visiting and even going into the Frostfire Citadel in Elendor, and being awed by that, as it was quite extravagant as well. This structure is probably twice, maybe 3 times as tall and large. It is enormous, and it is a very large centerpiece to a very large city. And so, you kind of head towards it, as it calls as a waypoint, and no real need to try to find it. It's there, you know where it is. As you approach, there are all manner of individuals, elven primarily, that are going around doing day-to-day life. You do see the Spire of Illumination where you visited yesterday, a couple 100 feet away from this, in a different courtyard, different students that appear to be studying and whatnot. But that is not your goal, and so you arrive at this large building. As you do so, you're a little overwhelmed. There's a decent amount of elves, and they all seem to have a purpose in mind. But there does appear to be different, like, clerks that are taking questions and helping different, what appear to be more commoners, go about their day as well. Shortly after, you kind of get in a line for one of these clerks and wait a little bit of time before you're up, as you kind of look over or up towards the kind of desk here that the clerk is at, that is a little taller than you, but you can, your little feathers kind of poke up across it as the clerk up there says, can I help you?
I hope you can. It's a pleasure. I'm Maldorwen.
Nice to meet you. What can I help you with today?
As you can see, I'm from Kertas, and I've heard that there is a person from my city that is a member of the council. I know maybe it might be hard, but I'm hoping that I can get a word with them. I don't think I need a lot of their time.
I see. Okay. Let me see here as they kind of rifle through some documents, pull out some stuff. And you said Maldorwen? Yeah?
Yes, that's how they call me.
Perfect. Alright, I will have they pass it towards another elven individual. You've run this up? And they nod, and they're gonna run it over, and feel free to sit and wait. We'll get in contact if they're able to meet with you today.
Is there a good place to read that you can point me to?
Some of these benches. You see, the interior here is, like, there's a very tall ceiling with kind of arches into peaks. Different, almost stained glasses that reflect. It does kind of give you a vibe of the Frostfire Citadel in a sense, but yet again, just much, much larger in scale. Almost like the people of Elendor took inspiration from this when constructing the Frostfire Citadel. There you see depictions of Alamor and Lunor and all kinds of fantastic works of art in here. There are manner of benches and places to sit, some of which are occupied as other people are waiting for who knows what. But you do have a moment that you can sit down and feel a lot more comfortable reading here rather than in the windy tunnels of the airway.
Alright, so I'm hoping to read here.
Okay.
Of course.
Make a reading
so I
check.
can see what the letter...
So yeah, as you kind of sit down and pull out these 2 letters and unbind the little cord, and it just says Maldorwen on it. You kind of unlatch the seal and pull out the parchment inside and unfold it. And let me send this to you. You can read it. For viewer sakes, I would like you to read this out loud as well.
Of course.
Oh, Discord's not gonna let me send it in one message. No, it's not that big. Alright, 1 second. Technical.
Get your pizza cutter.
Yep, exactly. Alright, there you go.
Alright. So you want me to read these first?
Yeah.
Okay. Maldorwen, I pray to Alamor that her light has guided your path to Altari, that you and your allies walk beneath her watchful gaze, unharmed and resolute. Elendor still steers from the unrest brought by the Khazdurim, but with their exile, there is a fragile sense of normalcy returning. Your flyers, your wisdom, have helped more than you know. I have taken new recruits under my wing, shaping them into what I hope will be worthy sentinels. It's strange, though I see glimpses of you in the lessons I pass down. A thought, a memory, a voice carried on the wind. You are farther than ever, yet never far from me. But something troubles me still. Kertes has come. It looms over Elendor's skyline. Vast and inscrutable. Dagan worries as to the counselors. Their whispers filled with suspicion. They claim to be only surveying, watching, but my instincts warn me there is more beneath the surface. I fear the Khazdurim's presence stirred something deeper, something unseen. Why did they come? Why now? When we were just beginning to breathe again. And yet, my thoughts return to you, to your people, to the pieces of yourself you have shared and the ones I long to understand. Tell me, Maldorwen, how should I speak to them? How should I stand before your kin and be heard? If there is a way to bridge the distance, I would seek it. If there is a path to understanding, I would walk it. Not for Elendor alone, but for you. Perhaps I am too blunt in my asking, but you know I have never been one for hiding intent. I wish to know more, to learn, to understand you. I do not forget your promises, my dear Kertusi. Nor do I forget the nights we spent beneath the stars, speaking of things beyond duty and war. May Alamor's light guide your path, and may it lead you back to me, whenever you wish to return. Darin. Oh my god. I love it so much.
So, resemblance of, a little more understanding of Elendor's situation right now, is you guys did kind of leave it in a pretty quickly situation there. And now a little more confirmation that Kertes is just looming over Elendor. That does spark other questions in your mind of why exactly are they there? And you really are even more looking forward to meeting with this Kertusi representative to ponder those same questions. The other note, as you kind of unfold that as well, is written in, it appears to just be gibberish. Go ahead and just make a intelligence check for me.
Just straight intelligence?
Yes.
Okay. I have heroic inspiration. I'm gonna use it for this.
Okay.
Hopefully, I will roll better.
Whoa.
Oh my god! Can I keep the 10?
I think so. We'll just say you have a 10. I think it's just so you get to pick which one.
Okay, so I will use the tactical mind feature that allows me to roll a d10. Hopefully that will help. Oh, that was a d8. I'm sorry.
No.
I'll roll the proper one.
Oh,
Oh my god!
should have taken the d8. Twice as good.
Not much better, but
So 11 total. Are you still exhausted at all? As well?
oh, you're right. Yes, I think I have 1 level. Yes, so that's
down
an
to
8.
9 then, right?
Oh yeah,
11
9.
yeah.
Right. 11. Yes.
Yeah, the words are written in Elvish, but it's a whole lot of just nonsense. Like some sort of madman just got a hold of a quill and just started writing. Like you don't understand a whole lot of what it is saying. You immediately think maybe there's some sort of cryptic code written in here, but for the life of you, as you kind of sit here and ponder it, you're not able to depict or understand it at all.
Perhaps Asja can help me with this. So strange.
There also is a little note in similar handwriting with that letter as well. That just says, "This was passed to me from someone who says they know you." Written in Terran's handwriting.
Someone that knows me. Oculpalam. This is so weird. And he will take both and make sure they are safely stowed away with his maps in his map case. For now. And if I have to wait any longer, I will start writing a reply to Terran right now. Okay. But like, yeah, I will send it to you eventually.
I need it now. No. Alright. So as you start to pull out your writing implements and get a little bit into your letter, I don't think you are waiting there for a decent amount of time. It's not a super quick thing that occurs here. So you do have a moment to start writing, but I'll say 5-10-ish minutes after you are into your writing. An elven figure kind of greets you. So the councillor is quite busy. They have a brief moment to spare, though. You would please follow me.
Absolutely. Let's be brisk then.
Okay. As you follow them, they lead you to these large, more or less elevators that take you up to different floors. As this building is buzzing with individuals like the individual in front of you, who is carrying out some sort of work as well. You pick up on different elves calling this building the Spire of Governance, where pretty much the leading government is had for not just Valtari, but the entirety of the Sunspire Dominion. And it reflects that. There's a lot of kind of politics and just people talking amongst themselves in this building. But you are lifted up towards a floor, follow this other individual towards another little chamber here, as they kind of nod to you and open the door. As you walk in, you immediately see signs of Gertuzi. There's this little small office, isn't super fledged out as maybe another counselor might have, but there are little very important pieces of decor that this individual carries. Signs of the city that they call home. You kind of are left in. The desk is, well, much smaller, and you can very clearly see over it. As sitting behind the desk is a very ancient and wizened gnomish figure. Who kind of puts down a quill, writing something themselves, and kind of looks up to you. Yes, what is it?
Valtarion Aurelius, it's an honor to meet you. I am Maldorwen.
Greetings, Maldorwen. And he starts to talk in kind of a gnomish Gertusi. What brings you to me?
I would like to humbly ask why the city moved to Elendor.
I see. I kind of look at you with a keen eye. The city has been stagnant for far too long. Signs of conflict re-arising. It is our duty as the Gertusi to follow this conflict, as you know. And so, it was decided by, well, not just myself, but the people, that we were once again to seek it out.
More people have the... I feel relieved that I have done the right thing for the conflict. Alamor has truly guided me. I was there. And I saw the enemy with my own eyes. They were in a sorry state. But they were back in Aruthar. I had to help one of them. My blood boiled. My stomach... It felt like I was sick. But now, I feel relief. And yes, Council Member, you are wise. The conflict is back. We would be blind to not see it.
The elves of this city are this way. They refuse to believe that the conflict has fully returned. I've managed to convince some of them that the echoes are repeating, that it won't be long until it strengthens. It always does.
I will also follow the conflict. I am here before you because I've been guided here by it. And I know I have a purpose here in Valtari. Our people will rise stronger than ever. That is a promise.
He kind of gives a knowing nod. I feel for the young of our kin. It is time they know conflict. No more toiling around with silly games.
Yes. Those who are strong enough to walk the path would be on the right way, and Kertas as well. Thank you for your time, Council Member. I will return and report to you if I am able to find anything else out. I am seeking people here that I think are involved in the conflict returning. And I want to know what they are doing.
Good. May the conflict bless you. And thank you for your devotion.
My devotion is strong. Just like the city will be. Just like it always has been. He will just do a bow and walk out.
Okay. And returns with like a proper Katuzi like salute almost. As you leave. As the younger elf leads you back towards where you came from. We're gonna shift gears a little bit and head back over to Euan, who's currently sitting in the archives, kind of just waiting there. Euan, is there anything you want to do while you wait?
If they let me, I plan on smoking my pipe while I'm in there to just kind of relax and rest. Still a bit sore from the journey, so
They're gonna have
he
a problem
wouldn't
with that.
if he cannot be on his feet, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. As you like pull out the pipe, the female Goliath. If you could just do that out in the courtyard, please.
Oh, sorry. I'll just put it away, and he'll pull the tobacco out of it, put it back in his pouch, and return the pipe into his belt pouch as well.
It's appreciated. We don't want to damage any of the knowledge here. Kind of gives you a nod. And you did see
Understood.
there are like spots to sit outside. It would be warm and hot, but you're a fire drac there. It feels good.
Right. He'll sit here for a little bit, and then if it still seems like it's taking a while, he'll go ahead and step outside and refill his pipe and light it.
Okay.
But apart from that, he's enjoying not having to be in defense mode or walking or doing really anything.
Right. As you kind of step outside and feel that kind of reassuring heat, not the overbearing heat that you felt so long on that journey, but just the comfort. You kind of take a deep inhale of the pipe and let it soothe a little bit of your aching, exhausted body. The wounds of long ago still kind of gnawing at you. But as you kind of inhale and just allow yourself a little bit moment of relaxation, not a whole lot on your mind, and just trying to be at peace for a moment, you start to once again hear or feel or see it. It almost is like as soon as you start to fully embrace the silence of just relaxing, something deeper within you just kind of calls out and allows that silence to not exist, as this presence, these memories that just kind of berate your mind, and it just is so much, so vast, something that you just can't really comprehend. Go ahead and just make a wisdom saving throw for me.
And here we go. Actually, that's not too bad. 18.
18's pretty great. Okay. Here, as this kind of happens, that's your own personal questions of why this is happening, what that sapling meant, and how you were able to really connect to it. How is this all tied together? They grow stronger, and you inhale another large smoke as that kind of soothes your body for a moment. Enough to allow you to kind of have a precise moment through the chaos that are these distant memories. And for just a brief blink of an eye to everyone around you, you're almost pulled into somewhere beyond. You feel like your senses feel just everything around you for a moment, but not in this place that you currently are. You feel like the winds of Stormwake rustling, and you feel yourself reaching out into the large crown beneath you. You feel connected to not just this place, but a broader connection across what feels like an endless expanse. And you're kind of pulled back in for a moment, and it's just more chaos as you kind of eyes flicker back open. Your senses still buzzing, but drawn back in. As Asja, you step out to greet and see Euan there smoking.
She kind of skip walks with this big smile. Sorry that took so long. We got sidetracked talking about a few things.
I think as Asja would approach, as this kind of reverie was ending, she would hear Euan speak in Sindarian, kind of under his breath. I doubt she could understand him, but for the sake of the viewership, essentially he is saying under his breath to whatever is invading his memory in his quiet time or whatever, I hear you. Just as a soft acknowledgement to what is happening, and hoping that whatever this vastness that seems to be kind of chaotic and roiling in some ways, hopes that it will quiet it. And as Asja approaches, he'll kind of open one eye, and I believe that her perception, her passive perception, is high enough. She would kind of notice.
I have a 13. I have the lowest in the whole group.
That's still probably fine. Would notice that while he is looking at her, his vision is almost clouded in a way, like he's here but he's not. And slowly it would kind of come back into focus, where he is back in the moment. And will just softly respond, I'm not too surprised. This feels like your kind of place.
Smells like home. It was very good.
They wouldn't let me smoke inside.
Well, there is a lot of paper and books and stuff like that that's, irreplaceable. And, well, now that the archives of Mythendril are lost, I'm pretty sure they're going to guard every little bit of knowledge that they do still have.
Yeah, you're probably right, as usual.
Not always right. Are you feeling okay? You had a weird look in your eye.
I think I'm alright. I was trying to enjoy a moment of peace, and whatever invaded my dreams last night, I felt it again. I just want to know what it means.
Well, then we should get to go and see Damaris, but I wanted to talk to you first before we went anywhere. Your tree back in your city, was it similar to my tree where, let's just say, something in the roots was very, very important?
Yes.
Maybe something grew in the roots?
The
Right.
roots of the Kuran tree held our primal ember.
Well, ours is very similar. If this is the seed of the tree of my city, I was going to try and see if putting a piece from the tree would help it maybe grow. And she kind of reaches up and taps her forehead a little bit. It's worth a try, right?
Are you going to be alright?
I should be fine. That should be fine if I am in the same room with it and still have contact with it. And unless it does something very drastic, I don't see me leaving it there. But if it does do something drastic, well, at that point we'll talk about maybe having to take some precautions. The tree, though, not for the same reasons that he would like to think, but at least for me and my people, the tree is very important. I don't want to see anything happen to it, and if it means risking my own well-being to make sure that its well-being is good within these first few days, then that is a sacrifice I'm willing to give. This could be the future of my people.
I just want to know I can hear it.
Well, and she kind of sits down on the bench. Unlike you, where you were able to lay your people to rest, none of us have ever been able to get back to Mythendril. None of the people that died there have ever had any sort of proper send-offs. We've done what we can to honor them back at home, but maybe that's what you're hearing. All of us were connected to the tree. So maybe because they haven't gone on the path of Lunar, maybe they're somehow trapped. Maybe that's what you're hearing. I've been thinking about it a lot since last night. It's not a thought I want to think of because, well, those are my friends, my family, people I grew up around. I don't want to think that I have been living, I wouldn't say it's a perfect life, but at least I was living while they were suffering. It would make me feel very more guilty than I already do day to day. That I survived and they did not. I guess it would make it more real. But sitting on this bench is not going to get us any answers. So how about I stop theorizing and we get going?
Euan will take a very slow, deep breath. And also exhale very slowly. I know how you feel. And this promise I make, if it should take my last breaths, I will ensure that you and I both get to lay our people to rest.
That is my plan. My only problem is I have some theories that don't sit well with me on how this whole thing may have started. They came to Mythendril first. Let's walk and talk. They came to Mythendril first. Something doesn't sit well with me. The book.
Okay.
The book that now everyone is looking for information on. I have a distinct memory of when I was a child that my parents were looking into that. That is the last time I ever saw that. And now suddenly, I might as well admit it to somebody. Suddenly both my parents are still alive, even though they should both be dead. And yet my father, I guess, couldn't find my mother. And now even he says that he's somehow dead, but it's not the madness that normally the Elandris would cause. It's something even different, but I can't help to think, but maybe not them directly, but maybe one of them, maybe a group. I'm not sure. I have a feeling that somehow, though, they may have been responsible, and that this book might be what at least caused them to come to your city and my city. I don't know. Again, it's just a theory I think of before I fall asleep at night.
If that's the case, and that book started this entire conflict, with the book resurfacing, rather, and the powers that be moving the way they are, I don't like what that implies.
I don't either. The one thing that... I will still call him my father, even though he says that he is not, but he is. One thing that my father said: do not trust anybody that searches out the stars. Do not trust the star. Do not trust those that worship the stars, and do not trust... I have it written in my journal. I'll find it later, but basically, don't trust anybody that's looking out the things that are within that book. And don't trust anybody that worships what's in that book, I guess. If anybody would know about it, as I said, I know my parents have studied that book. I just don't know where... Well, I don't know where either of them are, pardon me, or which side of this they lie on. So I wanted to find them, but now I don't know if that's the safest idea. So instead, she kind of holds out her hand. Instead, I accepted the role that I was supposed to accept a long time ago. And now I get to dress like this, and so anybody that would have known about my people back then, they're going to come looking for me. Maybe not the smartest idea, but if I want answers about things, well, common people aren't going to know those answers. Does that make sense?
It does. And what a better place to get that information from than the source? Whether that source be finding your parents, or from the people that are looking into this celestial bridge.
I'm having a feeling that there are so many people in Elendor looking for it because of that, what we found underneath the city.
That would make a lot of sense. I want to go back.
Do you know how to work these air tube things as they reach the courtyard? Do you know how to work these things, by the way?
I have no bloody idea.
Maybe we should watch a few people before we try and use it. Or maybe we should just swallow our pride and ask for help. Right, we'll swallow our... Yeah.
As you... Yeah, the airways are more or less like a... train that goes throughout the entire Tari. Like, you see passengers as the platform kind of comes to a stop. The glass tubing kind of separates into like a door. They walk in, and then moves on, like a subway almost. And so it's more or less just getting on and getting off, like knowing where to get off and where to get on. So you arrive, and one arrives after moments, a couple time of sitting there. As a couple individuals step on, you can step on as well.
Okay, let's go. Go.
Right, let's go.
They get on.
The glass kind of knits itself into a perfect seal, as once again the air kind of starts to blow from inside, allowing the platform to start to coast through the city. You see the spires kind of wave by in just a blur from the interior here. As you then, similar to what Maldorwen just experienced, take some time in here before arriving at where you believe you got off yesterday. Are able to step back out into the Spire District. See the large spire of illumination you previously visited. As you approach, you see once again all manner of scholars and individuals that are in deep study, but none pay much attention to you. There are a few glances towards Euan. As Euan, you kind of just garner that here. As, first of all, Drakthir are not very common, and, well,
He's
you're
used
great.
to it by this point. Just in general, he's used to it. It's not easy being green.
It's not.
But you enter the threshold of the door there, and once again you see a couple clerks that kind of motion over to you and ask if you need help. So, what can I help you with?
We are both here to see Damaris Vane.
Damaris, Professor Damaris. Yes, Professor is
Yes.
currently... She kind of looks at like some papers again. In the middle of a class currently. You're more than welcome to go participate, or you can wait until he's done.
What is the class on?
No, I'm not. I do not know exactly. I'm not a student of his.
It doesn't matter. Where do we go for the class? I would love to hear him teach.
Just down the hallway here.
You would-
a couple a left, and then a right, and then another left. Up the airway, and then over on the left, another right, and then you're in the classroom.
Euan's eye twitches a little bit. I hope you got all
Did
that.
you catch any of that?
I got none of that. Can you write that
Okay.
down?
Catch it? Yeah, it just, you know.
Sure. As they write it down and pass you a note. A little
Thank you.
like instruction manual how to get to the classroom. Oh,
All right, first we go left and then we go right. Yeah, I'm just going to follow the piece of paper.
Following the paper from Ye Old Map Quest.
New objectives. Find classroom.
Go 10 meters down your hallway to the left.
Then turn left.
There we go.
Then turn left. Exactly.
So it tells you to turn left before you need to turn left, and then you're just in the bathroom for some reason. What?
Turn left now, in 300 feet. Wait, what?
No. Brief walk, a little bit of confusion, but with the guide, you're more or less able to find your way there. And as you kind of enter, there's a decent-sized classroom here, kind of built into one of the spires. And you see there's a number, probably a good 12 or so elves of varying age, relatively younger though, not super wizened in their years, that are currently listening towards the figure at the front of the room who is giving a lecture of sorts. You see them all kind of taking notes. The classroom itself has all manner of, yet again, diagrams of a variety of nature. You see different books lining the walls once more, and a little bit of a illusory kind of projections that are currently in front of the class as Damaris kind of speaks out. As you kind of walk in through the classroom, you're able to pick a seat in the back there if you would like. You do see that Damaris kind of notices your arrival and kind of gives you a little nod, but then continues on his lecture. So, what were we talking about?
Going to take a seat and open one of her books and actually start taking notes while he's talking.
All right. Okay, yeah. Euan, are you pulling out your pipe? That's the question.
Pull out his pipe.
Do you actually, or no?
Yes.
All right. We'll get to that in a moment. As Damaris continues to speak. From ancient texts that were recently recovered, we have a better knowledge of further back in the past. Sir, back there, please refrain. Looking at you, Euan.
Euan his eye twitches just a little bit. And then he slumps sadly, puts the pipe away again.
They all speak in a variety of ways about an age of, darkness and blight that covered the lands, it seems. It is hard to discern exactly when this time period occurred, but it seems that it was a couple centuries in the past. We are currently very much looking into this, and especially on how it resolved. As, my dear students, we can see today that, there is not a thick ichor of darkness covering the land. And so, our primary goals and desires currently is to, figure out what changed. As there are portions of this land that are still covered in, a new form of darkness, thanks to the wars that have been fought over the past century. One main theory, and this is where we'll leave off today, is the great trees that cover the land of Aruthar, at least that once did. These trees are quite potent and powerful. I have done many years studying the tree in Florignis, and its connection to the element of life is quite superb. It's one of the most stronger sources that I have reliably been able to ascertain. And with it, it makes me question if maybe they were the solution in recovering the world from this age of despair. So, students, as we wrap up today, your assignment is to study whatever you can on these trees. Report back on next 10 day on what you have learned, and may your studies guide you. Kind of gives a nod. As you can see, throughout the little lecture there, the illusion kind of shifted to a large kind of tree, and then faded now. As some of the students start to pick up their different notebooks and whatnot and start to leave, Damaris just kind of beckons you forward from the back.
Asja will look at Euan while the tree is there and kind of lean against his shoulder for a moment, because, they probably have the same wistful feeling at the moment. And then when they get beckoned down, I guess she'll get up and start moving down closer to the teacher's podium.
I am very glad to see you both once more. I was a little saddened that yesterday our encounter had to be so brief. Apologies for the denial of your... kind of looks towards you. And we just would like to keep the air clean here, thank you.
Understood. Just kind of mutters sadly.
So, what do I owe the pleasure?
It's kind of sensitive, so perhaps we could go back up to your office to talk about it. I don't think you want everyone to hear what's about to be said.
Okay, very well.
At least I don't.
I was heading there anyways. He kind of gathers
Perfect.
a few notebooks and papers of his own, kind of tucks them under an arm, and starts leading out of the classroom here. Now, I presume that you both have questions of your own, but I do have questions for you as well. So I'm very curious as to the conversation that will occur. And kind of opens a door towards his study. Let's you in.
I will answer as many questions as I am able to with fullness. Those that I can't, I will try and answer as well as I can. Euan? I think he's
I
got
have
questions
more
for you
questions
too.
than answers. But if you have any questions for me, then you may also ask.
No, please. And kind of sets down the papers. And you do still see the kind of glass chamber where the small little sapling is still kind of sitting there. There are a couple more like large glassware that have been moved over to more thoroughly study it. You see small rings of arcane energy that seem to be just ever-present glowing around it. So yeah, it's still on the desk, more or less where you guys left it on the previous day.
Mm-hmm. And almost absent-mindedly. No, you're all right. Almost absent-mindedly, as we're kind of seated, and Euan looks over and sees the sapling and all the protections and everything. Again, it just kind of slips out as he mutters under his breath, in Sindarian once again, I hear you. Directed towards the sapling, of course.
Right.
All right. How about we all make a deal? Question for question.
It sounds fair to me.
And how about as a show of good faith, we let you go first?
Oh, how delightful. All right, then, let's see. A question... So, you introduced yourself yesterday as Rhukkarrak, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you take that name as an adopted name, or are you of the bloodline?
I am the last of the matriarchal line. My grandmother before me was the second last, but I am now the last. There are still those that have adopted the name, though, that are alive. But I am the only one of the actual Einarrogs that survived.
And so, that would make Riven your father, yes?
Do you know him?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen him in the past 80 years? I've heard he's still alive. It was quite a surprise.
I'm gonna.
But yes, that would be my father.
I don't know about 80. It's been a while. It's been a long while.
Rivenor was one of the... When I was in Elendor, I was able to get a list of the survivors who did not make it to the settlement. There were 6 names. My father's name was on one of them. I have been able to use magical means to reach out to him. And, well, I think as you know how our type work, he's still alive and he's not insane. So that also means somewhere in this great continent, my mother is still alive too. Quite shocking.
Oh, good child. Now, I spoke. It's been several years, so apologies if my memory lacks in some regard. But Rivenal came to me from my expertises on the spiritual realm.
Yes.
I sensed
About the
this lingering, well, the madness had already almost taken him. He was searching for ways to, well, contact those beyond.
Having spoken to him, he claims now that he still remembers who I am. He still called me his child. But he said he was dead, and that he is no longer Rivenor. I don't know what this means, because he didn't sound like the madness. So somehow, my father is still very much alive but dead at the same time, and has not... If my mother is dead, then somehow he has learned to skirt the control of the Elantris.
Yes, it is quite interesting. I am not... Yet again, it's been so long. I know that you do not spend...
Much time here.
It was maybe a year or two? I do not quite remember.
Do you know where he went afterwards?
I'm afraid I do not.
I could really use him right now for what his... I need the knowledge within his head. Anyways, but thank you. Alright. But yes, Rivenor is my father. And... I'm still looking for him. But he must have found something. He must have found something. If he was able to break the control that the Elantris has over us, he must have found something.
Indeed.
I don't know whether
Something
it would be the spirit
must
world or not,
have
but...
occurred.
Anyways, she's gonna pull out her book and make a few notes.
Family matters aside, I know it's quite heavy conversation there. Apologies. Euan, was it?
Aye.
What is one of your questions?
What do you know of the Kuran tree?
Another one of the great trees lost to us. I'm afraid not as much as I would like. I did not have a chance to study it before, well, it was lost in the war. I know that, at least from what I've read about it, presume it to be one of the great trees. We call them the Vitae Celestis, the trees that are heavenly. They appear all over Aruthar, and it's a grave tragedy that many of them are no longer with us.
Euan looks a little sad, but understands, because Cindertree really didn't have a whole lot of contact with the outside world. So he kind of expected that kind of an answer. Very well. believe it's Wait, how are we doing? Is it Asja's turn? Is it your turn?
That's a good question. Well, I think that is a good question. I think it's Asja's turn.
All right. I guess my question to you, I'll be blunt. You do have the seed of the great tree of Mythendril over there. And there are survivors. And we have run out of our Elandris crystals. What do you plan to do with the tree?
That is,
Because it might not just help you clean the death energy, but it would help save my people. There are enough of us that it would make a difference.
That's a great question. And, leaves me with more questions as well. But my intentions currently are to, well, figure a little more about its etymology, how it is alive. From all past documents and histories that these trees that were lost, both in Mithrandale and Sindarian, they were not salvageable. Any offshoots, any saplings were, well, dead. Almost like the spirit of the tree itself no longer had an attachment to the world. But this one's different, and I'm trying to ascertain why. Eventually, I am also hoping that it leads to solutions of the greater death that is found within Arthur. That being the Ashen Expanse and Mithrandale itself.
Personally, with the amount of people that keep going to Grave Rob Mythendril, I think I'd rather leave the death energy. If you have this ability to get through there and not end up in my backyard so that I have to fix you, you can go to Mythendril. But it does keep it rather low on the amount of people that try and go there. Nobody knows that we're still around. Everybody thinks that we are much like what happened to Cindertree, that there's none of us left. But there are. And that's our home. And those are our things. Watching people over the years just take them has been very painful. I hope you can understand that.
This kind of gives a solemn nod. You speak
But I want
of
to help you.
these survivors. This is
Yes.
knowledge to my ears. I was not aware that more than a few handful of individuals escaped the tragedy that befell Mithrandale.
Well, this will be the second time I tell this story today. Okay, I'm going to make it very short. So, a few days before Mythendril was about to be attacked by the Castorum, somehow some of the Ainarog, I guess, heard wind of it. My father, my mother, my grandmother were able to gather up about 85 children of the Ainarog. And they had us leave the city. There was a handful of elders with us. My grandmother was one of them. And we hid in the woods. And after a time, when we realized that no one from the Sunspire Dominion was coming to save us, we got drawn deeper into the woods. And we've been hiding there ever since.
Mm.
The survivors were the children. Not many adults. But we are all children who were trained under the Ainarog. And you can imagine that their little backpacks were not all toys, clothes, and food. maybe not everything was lost that day.
That is extremely
There are
curious.
about 120 of us now, I guess. But we have rebuilt.
That brings a smile to my face, knowing that not all was lost that day.
Not everything. A lot, but not everything. Anyways. I want to help you with your studies of the tree. It's one of my specialties that I was working on before my grandmother died, was the understanding of the trees and the Elandris and how the Gemborn elves are tied to them. I do have some insider information about that tree.
Oh.
Well, I used to have to walk by it all the time on the way to the archives. Da-da-da-da-da. But I can at least tell you some basic information that I know of how the Elandris crystals were harvested from the roots of the tree.
Yes, I am aware of the process. It's a very similar process that takes place in Roignis, albeit slightly different due to the different elemental synchronizations that occur there. They're more fire and from the primal ember that occurs, and there was the primal stone that got stolen that I believe nourished the green Elandris, kind of motions towards your Elandris.
I know, and that's something I would like to test. I'd like to test if it reacts to my Elandris, and see if that helps strengthen it.
Quite a theory. I would be intrigued to perform that experiment for
also,
sure.
To talk about a creature of life, well, I guess you could say that would be one of my specialties. I also have some information that maybe you can help me decipher, but I think it would also be very interesting to you and your studies. While I was partially joking about keeping the death energy of Mithindril up, it would be nice to be able to go home and rebuild. Or at least let those people go onto the path of Lunar. Because unlike other cities that fell, people have been able to give final rites. We've never been able to get close enough to Mithindril to do any of that.
Right. It is a strange... Well, many strange things can happen when that much death occurs in such a rapid time and the proper rites are not given. I completely understand that desire.
But for now, I would like to take half of my payment to maybe study under you, but also help you understand the tree and the properties of what maybe it could do. That's why I only took half of my payment yesterday, because, well, I really need teachers. And, well, Euan is my protectorate, but he's also my teacher because he understands military things, which I don't. And, well, you have more knowledges of the spirit world and such like that, which is also things I need to learn more about. So, I was hoping you would take me on as maybe an apprentice or a student. Not the classroom kind, though. That's boring.
I see. I would be all for it. However, I do already have an apprentice currently that is directly under me.
And so I cannot promise you that position right from the get-go. I believe you would need to also speak with Lunessa and make sure that she is okay with this, as well as being an apprentice of mine would mean that the two of you would work together quite in tandem as we delve more further into this mystery.
Perfect. I think I have some things that I can convince her that she wouldn't have a problem with it.
Absolutely. And if she is good with it, then so am I. Again, eyes over back to Euan, who's been quite stout and quiet. You're awfully quiet. Any other questions from you?
You might as well tell him.
Very well. I suppose a formal introduction is in order. I am Euan. Elite Guard, pardon me, of Cinder Tree, and sworn protector of the Quran Tree. And he will kind of place his hands on the table, so that way the bracelet on his wrist kind of clatters a little bit against the table. I do believe the vessel of the tree itself.
You can see his eyes kind of narrow. I spoke with Cauldron after you all departed as well. He did not give me much information, but informed me that you were one that I really needed to speak with. When you say that you are this vessel, could you elaborate?
Euan will nod and stand. Kind of step away just a little bit from the table. And we'll look over to the sapling for a moment. When I performed my rite yesterday for the sapling, I could hear it calling out to me. And in my dreams and in my moments of silence, I can hear it as well. And in the fight with the Khazdorim in Cinder Tree, I asked the Quran Tree for help in protecting it, and it imbued me with power. And I fought off the Khazdorim almost single-handedly around the tree. Well, single-handedly around the tree as they'd killed everyone else. Until they destroyed it and cut me down. And then I woke up. Green. I wasn't originally green, but I am now. Mm-hmm. And alive. I shouldn't have been alive. And he'll kind of move the vest so the full length of the scar down his face and chest and down into his thigh and hip area is visible. And since then, and he'll take a moment to take a breath. And normally if he would want to induce a rage, it would be because he was watching people die or watching people get injured. And he's never really tried to just let it happen before, if you will. But in his mind, he starts to go back to that same train of thought that he had a few days ago. Well, several days ago, I guess, at this point, where he was reliving those memories. And he intends to try to use those memories to activate this power that's within him. However, rather than those memories resurfacing. The thing that fills his mind and makes his blood boil and begins to induce this rage is a vision of what would happen to his own psyche if Asja were to be cut down, like the people of his hometown. And in that moment, he bellows out a roar and will go into a rage, and the bracelet activates. And the brambles, vines, and branches kind of travel up from the bracelet around his arm, across his armor. The wings that he can now pop out of his back will also appear, except being almost loam and moss for the membranes, as the branches kind of fill out the bone structure of the wings. And a few sparks kind of emanate from him, mimicking the burning of Cinder Tree. And he will stand there, now fully enrobed in his bark skin, his affliction or blessing, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. As that happens, he kind of steps back. Oh, goodness gracious! And we see his eyes go wide as this transformation takes place. As the room almost shakes for a moment, just with the energy that is being called to Euan. I see. This is.
Do you see why I call him my dad now?
Quite
Dad.
I don't. What in
Asja just looks proud.
animal's name is going? Wow.
And as he is standing there, since a round of combat takes 6 seconds, he will use his quote-unquote bonus action to keep the rage persisting. He has up to 10 minutes. But
Okay.
over the course of the next, 12 seconds or so, he would see a trail of almost saplings and vines, and fresh grass and clover and things like that kind of trail towards Asja, as she's the first to receive the boon of the temporary hit points that he can give out. And then likewise, a trail would go towards him and also imbue him with that same life-giving energy.
It tingles. This is fascinating. Oh my. I was taken aghast by the sapling, but
Happy
this
birthday?
for me is. You can see he's just eyes completely wide.
You and this is the same look that other archivist had when I was talking to him.
Makes a lot of sense.
Right?
I see. You, and as you're kind of persisting there with that rage, the strong feelings of just what would how you would react if that was your future, and just trying to maintain this rage and just the anger, you need to make sure that doesn't happen. You once again feel a bombarding of those emotions, now ever louder, much, much, much louder. It's like almost to the point where it's hard to hear both Asja and Damaris in front of you here. You feel this tremendous emotion and all this raucous. It's not from the sapling in front of you. It's from something deeper within. You were saying?
Yeah, so with this newfound loudness that seems to be coming from this and this epiphany that it is something within myself. Am I able to discern anything that it's trying to say, or any emotion specifically, or is it still just this amalgam and raucous chaos and emotion that I'm detecting?
It is a lot, and it is almost mind-numbing, especially as you rage here in its voracity. Go ahead and roll just a wisdom saving throw again for me, as you kind of just bear down and try to heed what
That's a 15.
it's saying, what it's trying to communicate with you. As you just try to, now realizing a little more maybe what this source might be, you look inward, you feel that connection, and it's just overburdening, but there's again another moment of clarity that occurs for just a brief moment as you feel the inner flame of yourself, or at least you think it's yourself, this inferno of pure raw fire that is just ever present. And then you feel around it, and you feel everything else start to die. You feel that inner flame vanish. And you feel something broken in its remnants. And with that, your rage drops. You more or less fall unconscious for just a brief moment as you kind of stumble to the floor.
Euan will fall heavily, kind of catching himself with the sword that he's using as a cane, so he doesn't entirely fall. At least from a knee, he can kind of use the table and the cane and whatnot to help him up, but to go from a full prone position would be a lot. He's panting quite heavily, and I think they would both see kind of beads of sweat dripping from his face as he tries to handle whatever this is that is giving him an absolute feeling of impending doom.
Asja will get up and walk over to you and
Damaris kind of tries to help you up as well.
Did you hear them again? Your eyes went the same as earlier.
I don't think it's the sapling. I think it's something within me. And he'll kind of grasp his chest. I don't know what happened. I felt like something broke within me. I could hear it so loud. It was all consuming. I could hardly make out anything with it. I could feel the fire within me burning, and then it just stopped.
Well, I think we have more mysteries on our hands then.
I do concur. This is... Are you all right, lad?
I don't know. But I at least think I can stand. Utilizing both of their help and the table in front of him, he'll get up to his feet, leaning heavily against the sword as his support.
Well, I think as much as this conversation could probably go on for a long time, I should probably get my dad home. But we will come again another day. I believe the other people we travel with would like to have a word with you as well for their own reasons. But I will definitely talk to Luminessa about maybe being an apprentice to an apprentice. And she winks a little bit. I don't want to step on her toes, but I do want to study the tree. I mean, it is the tree of my home, so... But I should probably get my dad home before anything else happens.
Yes.
And I am sorry, Damaris. I don't know what happened.
No need for apologies. I am just more curious now than before. Please do return when you're able. I think there's yet much to discuss. But please, go get some rest. Looks like you both still need it.
We do. And when I come back, I would like to do the experiment of the Elandris if possible.
Around that time, the door swing opens and Lunessa kind of rushes in a hurry. Vessa, are you okay? Oh, your company. Is everything okay in here? Yes, child. If you could just please escort these two back to the entrance, the spire. They are in need of rest. Right. She kind of just looks you guys up and down. Euan still just in sorry state, more or less. Come on now.
Thanks for your time. We will talk again very soon.
I count on it.
She'll help Euan, towards the door. Luminessa, at some point, I'd like to have a word with you, please.
Okay. Let's
I would
get walking.
That's fine. Just as they're walking, I would like your permission to assist you and the professor with the studies of the tree, as it is the tree of my city. He wanted me to ask you if that was all right.
Oh, I see.
If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask them, but maybe not today. Maybe we could go out for tea or something like that, and you can ask all the questions you want, but...
Yeah. I can use a tea, yes. Let me speak with the professor, too. It sounds like you're going to be returning in the future as well. We'll discuss this, and maybe some tea. But let's get you guys back on your feet.
It was a long journey, but yes, I should get him home.
And she looks quite concerned, but escorts you guys back towards the entrance where you came from, where a considerable amount of the day has passed. It's a little past midday at this point. As the two of you return to wherever you may come from, Rhukkarrak still having drinks with some old friends. Maldorwen embracing the conflict. That is where we are going to end tonight's session. And pick up there next week to see where this story